My experience at West Coast League was fun. You know, it was a big difference going from California over there to Walla Walla, Washington. And the crowds were actually really good for such a small town. They really showed up for us, and everybody was very welcoming. It was an awesome experience.
How much does speed play a factor in your game here?
Oh, it's a huge factor. Ball in the gap or just even a C&I single. If you get out of the box good, you can even try and stretch to a double sometimes.
Durant hits that hard into the gap.
Here goes Durant. He's blazing around second. Into third. It's a two-run triple.
Jaron Durant, a triple to the gap in right center.
For me, that summer was about embracing new teammates and embracing new challenges because you're seeing different types of pitchers and really fast-paced, a lot of bunting, some new positions, new skills. Kind of helps with leadership and getting to know guys, and it was a good development for me in a lot more aspects than I expected. That was some of the best coaching staff that I've had. Back then, I was a second baseman. I thought if I just played really good second base, I'd be able to stay there, but they better use me in the outfield, which is awesome. I'm loving it now.
On the defensive side, you've been making some pretty good plays. You've been playing really all over the field now.
Hit coming on Durant, diving ahead, he's got it.
What can he do at this point? Wow, changing the game both offensively and defensively, that's huge.
JD's one of my best friends in the organization. He's just such a hard worker. He's super intense on the field, but he's completely different off of it. He's really laid back, relaxed, loves to have fun, brings such a good rapport and demeanor to the clubhouse. There's so many great things to say about him and the way that he goes about his business.
I love coming in here. Everybody is always super welcoming. They always greet me by name. You can tell that everyone here actually likes working here.
My favorite thing about Walla Walla orthodontics is how nice the staff are. They're funny, fun, and they're helpful.
I had what was called 3D braces. They were the same color as my teeth. People would say, "Oh, you have braces?" They didn't even know that I had braces. I highly recommend this orthodontist office.
Whatever your printing needs, Abbott's Printing does it all. Signs and banners, rich, full-colored, high-quality commercial and digital printing, direct mailings, full-color business cards, and postcards. If you want a printing job done right, then Abbott's Printing is the place to be. Abbott's Printing provides award-winning quality and outstanding customer service. Visit abbottsprinting.com to view their selection or call 453-8202. That's 453-8202. Abbott's Printing, where the excellence is on paper.
Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla is proud to be the official hotel of the Walla Walla Suite. Our guests are sure to get a great night's sleep in one of our recently remodeled rooms, and our 24-hour pool and spa are perfect for round-the-clock relaxation. Each night at Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla is followed by a complimentary breakfast included with every stay. At Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla, you can catch some Z's while the suites catch some W's. Wins, that is.
I was scheduled to go to the West Coast League out of high school, and then the draft happened, so there was a slow process deciding whether to sign or not, and then eventually I didn't. My whole senior year, I was like, oh yeah, summer will be cool. I was nervous for it, but I was also very excited. The group of guys that we had there was special. I was jumping into a new group of kind of older guys. Most of them were a year or two older than me. It was really good for me being a younger player. They kind of showed me the ropes of what college baseball and summer ball was about, and really helped me through that whole process.
First pitch, McLean, deep center!
I think hitting with the bats every day was different. Playing every day that consistent was different for me. Coming from high school, the competition was good. It was a good introduction to Pac-12 baseball. You got guys throwing every day who are top of the rotation guys in college, Friday night guys, Saturday night guys, and get to face that as a senior going into a freshman year was really an advantage for me because it really made me get better and realize I need to get better quick. But it was a lot of fun. Everyone in Bellingham welcomed me with open arms, and it was a great first summer ball experience. I couldn't ask for anything more. My host family was so awesome. The Ayers, I still talk with them weekly, maybe once every 2 weeks. To form that connection, that relationship that I still have with them and other teammates, I'll remember those for the rest of my life. Bellingham fans, thank you guys for always supporting me. I really appreciate it. You guys made it special for me.
Hey, Your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kinda is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
Welcome to the Peeling It Back pregame show brought to you by Washington's Lottery. I'm Brad Whitman alongside Suites manager Leo Rivera, getting set for the first postseason here in Walla Walla since 2019. How excited is the team to compete? How excited are you to compete?
Yeah, the boys are fired up. I'm pretty fired up as well. Should be a great atmosphere tonight and hopefully play some pretty good baseball and see what happens.
Well, obviously playing deeper into August, how are kind of the nerves feeling for the team? Are there any nerves?
I think they're pretty relaxed. I think there's more so energy than nerves. We'll see what happens when we get out there. That's what they say. But you know, the hearts are going to be beating, right? There's going to be some adrenaline, but that's good, right? It means something to us. And there's not many times where you get to go out and compete in a playoff atmosphere and really play for something, right? It might not mean something to random people out there, but it really means something to us. So we're really excited.
Well, this team has played some big games, some close games against some good opponents. How do you think this team is going to fare under the postseason pressure in the West Coast League?
Yeah, I think they'll be just fine. This is what we've been preparing for all summer. So it's nice to be able to say, just keep doing what you're doing. We've played pretty consistently throughout the whole summer, first half and second half. Like you said, we've played close games, blowouts, a little bit of everything. So we feel like we're pretty prepared for whatever comes our way.
Well, ended the regular season this past week down in Salem. A couple losses versus the Berries. How do you kind of shake those losses off, get right back into the win column versus a good team like the Knights?
Yeah, it's playoffs, man. Everybody's 0-0. All that matters is we take care of business tonight, and then we'll worry about tomorrow. But you win two, on to the next, and hopefully host another home playoff game, take care of that one, and then go see what happens in the ship.
We'll have faced off against the Corvallis Knights before, obviously, taking the season series versus Knights, 4-2 back-to-back, 2-1 series win across the summer. How do you kind of come into this game trying to get another win but not expecting the same result?
Yeah, I don't think we're expecting anything. They've been doing this for a long, long time. I was just talking to Brooke over there. He's got a lot of rings, right? He knows exactly what he's doing, but we feel like we know what we're doing as well. So it's going to be a great challenge, right? If you want to be the best, you got to beat them. So it's going to be a great challenge and see if we can take them off the top.
Well, talking about Brooke Knight a little bit, obviously longest tenured coach in the West Coast. He's going into his 18th season. You're here in your first season, bringing the Sweets to their first postseason in 7 years. How do you, as a first-year manager, kind of reflect on this summer, reflect on yourself going up against one of the top coaches in the league?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't even thought about it. But, I mean, it's cool. Like you said, he's been doing this for a long time. And in my first run, I think I've learned a lot of stuff. We've been pretty prepared throughout just with our plan that we came into the summer with. That's a credit to the coaches and Cody as well, just being working with me, a lot of communication in the off season. This is where we expected to be. So we've given ourselves a shot, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Well, obviously you have done a great job with the Sweets. Have talked to a lot of the guys across this summer, and I've heard the same thing. They all think you're going to be a great coach late in your years, going to definitely have some rings on your hand. But what do you think has been the key to cultivating success with this team this summer?
Yeah, I think I said it in our first interview, but it's the relationships. Building relationships not only with the players, but also with the coaches. We're a young coaching staff. I think we're the youngest staff in the league. We did the average, and I think it's about 34 and a half, 35, something like that. And I'm 26, Henry is 26, and Brandon's 23. So that shows Coach Keir's weighing us down a little bit, but we're very fortunate to have him as well. But yeah, it's been relationships and buy-in, and just trying to have fun, stay loose, and have good energy. But at the end of the day, play great baseball. And we got a lot of competitors. I'm very competitive myself, and I don't like to lose. And I like to think that's carried on to the whole team.
Well, game one getting set to go. It's the West Coast League game of the week. First pitch is 6:35. The number 3 seed Walla Walla Sweets versus number 2 seed Corvallis Knights. We'll see you then.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
College summer ball is a blast. Playing baseball and going all over the Pacific Northwest is beautiful in summertime. Great league, fun cities to travel to, great weather, fun ballparks. Give me a kind of like a taste of what it was like to play professional baseball with the schedule, playing, every day, taking long bus rides. Made a lot of good friends on those teams, and a couple big leaguers on my team. Matt Duffy, Matt Boyd. You get to meet guys from all over the country, come together for a couple months in the summertime. All try to get better and push each other, and a lot of good memories looking back on that summer in Corvallis.
Fuel the adrenaline is coming out now.
Yeah, his hands are on the mouth.
He was a key piece of our club that season, and he was one of the most talented, if not the most talented position player on the field at that time. And Mitchie, he was going through some early struggles, mostly due to the fact that his lower back was tight and sore all the time. And coming off his freshman season at Cal Poly, he was shy.
Who was your first kiss?
I don't even remember.
We had a pink bat day, a breast cancer awareness day. Next thing you know, Mitch comes up and hits one out of the park, and he ended up not letting go of that pink bat for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think he went on a tear, maybe 5 or 6 home runs in the next 10 or 12 games. And it was really neat to see kind of that turnaround, and kind of came out of his shell a little bit more.
Yeah, summer ball days, it's hard to get your hands on a good bat, so once you got one, just ride with it. We were blessed to play, OSU and Corvallis, and what a great, little college town that was, and it just prepares you for professional baseball. I think it was such a valuable experience for me to go through in college, and it definitely helped me in the minor leagues.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Sweets playoff baseball is back in Walla Walla for the first time since 2019, and we are here to celebrate. It's the West Coast League Divisional Series between Walla Walla and the Corvallis Knights. Thank you for joining us on the Walla Walla Sweets Digital Network. I'm Brad Whitman, bringing you all the action. Sweets step in as the number 3 seed in the South Division, of course, welcoming the historic Corvallis Knights as the 2 seed and second half champs in the WCL South Division here to Borleske Stadium. Second time Sweets have traveled over here to Walla Walla this summer, and Sweets do hold the series win over the Knights here in 2026. The season series win, that is, as they have taken down Corvallis 2-1 in 2 different series, and now are trying to do it on the big stage here in the 2026 West Coast League postseason. Do have the starting lineup for Corvallis as announced by skipper Brooke Knight in his 18th season at the helm. Diego Cruz be leading things off for Corvallis, followed by the All-Star Max Medina, Ethan Porter, Maverick Russell at 3 and 4. Russell out of UC Santa Barbara in the cleanup spot. Dakota Chun batting 5th. Ryan Severns behind him. Then they have Zane Garvey, Joey Marasco, and Kellen Siegel rounding things out at the 7-8-9, facing off another Sweets All-Star in Perry Stowe, the right-hander out of the University of St. Francis, getting the Game 1 start in the playoffs. Again, the first Sweets playoff game since 2019, 7 years. It's been a long time, but Walla Walla is back looking to prove that they want to go the distance. Perry Stowe making his 9th start of the summer, has spun about 43 innings on the year, 3.16 ERA, 49 strikeouts, has been one of the premier strikeout pitchers in all of the West Coast League. Stepping in is Cruz, and Cruz stepping towards the front of the batter's box, takes strike one. First pitch, 6:36 p.m. here in Borleske, as Cruz and drifting towards the front of the box, looking to just lay something down on the left side of the infield if he can. Takes a breaking ball, just misses outside. And Perry Stowe looking to settle back in after had a couple tougher starts his last 2 times out. Both were versus the Portland Pickles. Did have a quality start back on July 25th that did end up resulting in a loss, and his last time out through 4 innings, allowing 2 runs, having 3 strikeouts. Now back on the bump for Walla Walla, and ends up falling 3-1 in the count to Cruz after getting the first pitch strike. As Cruz, good contact bat in that lefty's batter's box, very quick out of the box, and check swing foul, tipped straight into the ground, and the count goes full. A long count to open up the battle here in this divisional series. Of course, divisional series can also just be known as the division semifinals. Stowe kicks and deals payoff pitch, fouled off by Cruz. He stays in it. Good crowd here in Borleske, and another good day for baseball. Smoke has settled quite a bit here in the Walla Walla Valley. AQI about 85. Another 3-2 pitch on the way in for a strike, and Perry Stowe starts off the postseason run right a backwards K to set down the Knights leadoff man. So wins the battle versus Cruz and brings up Max Medina, an incoming Cal Poly freshman. Will join the Mustangs in the spring of 2027, getting set for his first time in college. Flies one out to center field. Drifting in is Sam Kane, and it will be taken over by the left fielder. Another incoming freshman, and Ronan Schofield makes the catch. So 1 pitch from Stowe to collect the second out, much more efficient. So a peek into the field for the Sweets. Ronan Schofield out there in left making that catch. Sam Kane, the all-star center fielder, in his regular spot. Bo Stinson over in right. Gaines Hossin over at third, manning the hot corner. Gage Reeser to his left at shortstop. Kyler Bittner over at second. Ethan Buckley at first. Big swing and a miss on the changeup from Ethan Porter. And then the Lower Columbia catcher and Jalen Kennedy as the back end of the battery for Stowe. 0-1 pitch, a good off-speed left down low by Ethan Porter. In 95 degrees here in Walla Walla. A little bit muggy with the smoke still kind of looming around. Pitch line right up the middle. Gets past Kyler Bittner and into shallow right center field. Sam Kane will go over to scoop it up. It's a 2-out base hit from Porter, and the top of the first continues. That turns it over to Maverick Russell. Russell started his career at UCLA. Did not make an appearance this past spring with the Bruins and has since transferred to UC Santa Barbara. Will play with the Gauchos as a redshirt freshman in 2027. But gets behind in the count, 0-1. Stowe kicks and fires down low. Kennedy scoops it up. A back pick over to first, and not ready for it on first was Ethan Buckley as it gets out into shallow right beyond the foul line. And a error there will put Porter on second base, and after the 2-out single, the Knights have a runner in scoring position and a chance to get on the board first. Stowe looking to settle it right back down. Kicks and deals the 1-1. Another off-speed just missing under the knees. And wind softly kicking in from right to left as it does here in Walla Walla, gusting up to about 10 miles an hour. I have that good wind tunnel from the right field foul pole to the left field foul pole. Stowe looking back towards Porter, kicks and fires to Russell, misses down and in. Perry sporting the typical 4-pitch arsenal: fastball, slider, changeup, and a curveball. Going to see a lot of attacking with that fastball, and then we'll go to the slider and changeup quite a bit. 3-1 delivery, outside corner, missing, and it looked like that caught the edge, and Jalen Kennedy looking back towards the home plate umpire, Jacob Fisher, and it was tough to see where that ball missed, as TrackMan showing it pure in the outside of the zone. But it will be a 2-out walk, and now there's 2 runners aboard for the lefty bat of Chun. Stowe again looking back towards Porter, out on second, kicks and deals as Chun fouls it away. And Dakota, catcher, just finished up his freshman year with the Portland Pilots. Has been getting a little bit more time with the Knights, has played in 15 games so far, batting .311 in that time. Always love to see a catcher who can swing the bat. Missing up and away, count evens up at 1s. And mentioned Jacob Fisher behind the plate. Do have a 3-man umpiring crew today. Jacob Fisher behind the plate, JT Rentschler over on first, and Clayton Kellogg manning the third base side. Perry Stowe breaking ball is going to get lined down to right field, splitting between the first and second baseman. Brooke Knight will give the wave to Porter. Throw in from Stinson will be cut off by Buckley, and the 2-out rally continues, and Corvallis will put the first run on the board. Dakota Chun knocks in his another run on the summer. That is his 17th run batted in to give the Knights an early lead here in the top of the first. And after 2 good outs to open things up, again the strikeout and then a 1-pitch fly out, pair of singles and a walk brings in the first run for the Knights, and Corvallis are in the driver's seat. Stowe kicks and fires, misses down and away, and a good job from Kennedy. Keep that ball in front. Again, both these teams very different histories when it comes to the WCL postseason, as the Knights have become a staple of the postseason and of the West Coast League in its entirety. And the Sweets, this being their 4th postseason of all time since their inaugural season back in 2010. And Corvallis, on the other hand, this being their 19th consecutive year making the playoffs, as they have not missed since they've moved to Corvallis and compete in the West Coast League. Stowe kicks and deals the 2-0, fouled straight back out towards Highway 12 to Ryan Severns, another UC Santa Barbara Gaucho. Severns going into his sophomore year with the Gauchos. Big body in the box, and at 6'3", 185. Another foul tip will even up at 2-2. And Maverick Russell standing out on second base. Dakota Chun over on first for the Knights, says would love to add on, and Walla Walla going to be looking to respond with the bats of their own in the bottom of the first, as skipper Leo Rivera has always talked about the importance of trying to get the early lead. And Brooke Knight looking to swipe that away from the Swedes. Good slider, catches the outside corner and will ring up Severns, the third baseman for the Knights. Not happy about it one bit. Second K of the inning. for Perry Stowe, but not before the Knights push one across. A 2-out rally. Ethan Porter knocked in by Dakota Chun. Corvallis lead heading into the bottom of the first. Sweet starting lineup coming up next.
The West Coast League, definitely has its place in baseball and produces some serious talent. I was a preferred walk-on at UC Santa Barbara. I ended up making the team and actually cracking the starting rotation my freshman year. As most freshman pitchers do, I had a little bit of a short leash, and so after that year, I was able to transition into the West Coast League and get a few more innings in there as well. It was a great place for me to get my feet wet after my first collegiate season, to go out there, compete against other college prospects and college arms, and some real good bats as well. I met some great guys and made some great friends and really enjoyed the competition. It's definitely a special thing to be able to still be a college kid but focus completely on baseball. Even if it's just a few weeks or months, the experience goes a long way. I only threw 37 innings, not like MVP Eli Morgan with his 80-plus innings. Did he get any MVP votes? Well, he should have.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Slowed him down early and put him away with the foul.
I went to Yakima in 2014, graduated high school, and 3 days later I was in the middle of Washington, not really sure what I was getting into. It was a very late decision. I got a walk-on spot at Gonzaga really late that year and was told right around graduation time that they wanted me to go up there and play in this college league, and I didn't know it at the time, but having gone through it, it was a complete minor league baseball feel. It was just all first experiences for me, first time busting through the night, getting in at like 6 a.m. There was nothing but entourage on the bus. Entourage! So that was the only thing our coach would play for us.
Bottom of the first here in Walla Walla. Sweet starting lineup as announced by manager Leo Rivera. Kyler Bittner in the leadoff spot for the Sweets, followed by the All-Star Sam Kane batting second. Gage Reeser, followed by Royce Hale, the big designated hitter in the cleanup spot tonight for the Sweets, followed by Bo Stinson, Gaines Hawson. Then you have Ethan Buckley batting seventh, Jalen Kennedy batting eighth, and the incoming freshman Ronan Schofield in the 9 spot. A little bit different of a starting lineup for the Sweets here in the 2026 postseason, facing off against a steady right-hander in Arlo Pendleton. Right-hander out of Cal Poly with the Mustangs. And he is a big threat in his own right, and the Sweets are going to have to really try and navigate around him. Pendleton stands at 6'5", 205 pounds. Has been dangerous all summer long, a 3.86 ERA across 23 innings, being the 5th start on the summer for Pendleton. Kicks and deals a first pitch strike and called just at the knees for Bittner, and Kyler not seeming to like where that ball was pitched, but Pendleton gets ahead 0-1. Right-hander from Corvo. 3-2 record on the summer, 28 strikeouts in those 23 innings, 1.11 whip. Does a great job at minimizing walks, minimizing free passes really altogether. Fires the 1-1 in. Bittner grounds it over to the third base side, and it will stay fair. And it looks like third base umpire Clayton Kellogg did raise his hands. So it'll end up just being strike 2. Bittner losing a little bit of breath as he has to now walk back to home plate and hop back in the batter's box. There's a good fastball from Pendleton, kind of in the low inning corner, was left a little bit more middle, but Bittner just kind of rounded on top of it. Pendleton from Petaluma, California. Bittner from Sunnyvale, California. Big righty kicks and deals. Bittner lines it into left center field. That ball is going to get down in front of Max Medina. Bittner take a long turn at one and settle back over to first base. And after legging out a foul ball over at first, right back in the batter's box and smokes a breaking ball into left center field for a leadoff single. And that brings up Sam Kane, who has been one of the most productive bats in all of the South Division this summer. And he has really just been a force to be reckoned with for any team facing against him. Sam Immediately sends a ground ball up the middle. Diego Cruz will take it, steps on the bag himself, fires it over to first, and the double play is spun. And that will immediately get rid of the leadoff runner, and there's 2 down with no one aboard. And Sam just swinging at the first pitch he saw, jammed up as it was on the inside corner and just kind of in towards the hands. And Cruz doing a good job shading out towards second, able to field it, then slide the right foot over top the bag and get the throw over to Russell. So that brings up Gage Reeser with the bases clear. Will take ball 1 as, again, that looked like another borderline pitch, and you can see Dakota Chun behind the plate, curious where that ball missed. So 1-0. As Pendleton kicks and fires again, Reeser will turn it foul right past his third base coach and head coach Leo Rivera. And out in the field for the Knights, having Ethan Porter out there in left, Max Medina in center, Zane Garvey over in right field. Ryan Severns at third, Joey Marasco at shortstop. And seeing Diego Cruz spinning that play out at second base. Maverick Russell over at first. And already talked about Portland catcher in Chun behind the dish. Count goes 2-1 to Reeser. Gage, a former Yakima Valley Pippin last summer. First season as a sweet line drive out into right field, straight at Garvey as he will settle it. Didn't have to move much to secure out number 3 despite the leadoff single. Sweet's not able to get anything going in the bottom of the first. Corvallis remain up 1-0 as we move along into the second.
Washington homeowners are saving thousands of dollars on their energy bill by upgrading their home. And the best part is, CNGC is giving back even more money when you switch to a more efficient alternative. So you can enjoy increased property value, a higher quality of life with better appliances, and greater comfort for your family. Scan this QR code or go to cngc.com and save money on your energy bill.
It's wild. I mean, forgettable. The thing about Phil is that, focus on the innings, getting more work in, developing a pitch. For me, it was just kind of having an opportunity to face some different hitters, and it was definitely more of a step into a professional style of play. You're playing a lot more. It's just not weekend sets. I got to put a lot of innings in my mind. I was out of the bullpen a little bit, so that was new to me. It was just a really good opportunity for me to refine all my stuff going into my sophomore year. Out of high school, I thought I was going to be a position player. Stu had told me, 10 years later, I would be, pitching, and being at this stage, I would have been a little surprised. I was very fortunate to get drafted. Ended up here in Houston. It's been an awesome ride here the last 3 years. It's still hard to believe that I have that ring. It's wild. I mean, it's crazy. The things that happened during those games last year are just unforgettable.
The thing about Phil is that, he's the same every day. I mean, you can't tell if he's going good or if he's going bad. That's what makes him a quality reliever. It's the fact that, his highs aren't that high and his lows aren't that low. Enjoy Phil. I think I bought him some corn one day.
We're back in the second inning in the West Coast League game of the week as the divisional series kicking off all across the Pacific Northwest. Zane Garvey taking ball 1 from Perry Stowe. And in the South, having the 2-seed up Corvallis here in Borleske Stadium, facing the 3-seed Walla Walla Sweets. The Ridgefield Raptors as the 1-seed in the South Division, currently over at Walker Stadium, taking on the 4-seeded Portland Pickles. Then up in the north, you have Wenatchee and Kelowna in the 1 versus 4 matchup. Wenatchee, strong 1 seed, ending regular season with the best record in the league. Kelowna able to get themselves a late clinch spot. It was a great battle in the North Division to close things out. And then the 2 and the 3, Bellingham, are currently up in British Columbia, taking on the Nanaimo Night Owls as the 3 seed. But some good matchups all across as Stowe misses 4 straight pitches to open up the top of the second. Will walk the right fielder in Garvey aboard. And that brings up Joey Marasco. Marasco going into his sophomore season out at George Fox. Again, those two North Division games getting started right alongside this one. Ridgefield and Portland will have their first pitch slated for 7:15 p.m. A little bit later start out at Walker Stadium. As is typical for the Pickles, get under the lights a little bit more. And just having great atmosphere out at Walker. 1-0 pitch misses way up high again, and Stowe struggling to locate, and immediately we'll see the Sweets pitching coach in Corey Keir walk out to go talk to the St. Francis right-hander. As Perry Stowe missing 6 straight pitches, looking to settle things down. Sweets first-year pitching coach Corey Keir will come out to talk to him. Again, Stowe coming into the Sweets from the University of St. Francis out in Indiana. Perry, a Fort Wayne, Indiana native himself, and was talks about Stowe potentially transferring maybe to a school here in Washington. There was some talk about him joining CWU and at Central Washington, but decided to return home to Indiana to play his final year of eligibility with the Cougars out at USF. So Stowe will spend all 5 years, including his redshirt year, out at the University of St. Francis competing for the Cougars, and was a staple of the starting rotation this past spring, and will go right back to it in 2027. But came to the Sweets alongside a couple of USF teammates, Curtis Ellis, another West Coast League All-Star, and also Carson Hunter, as another fastball misses up high, and Perry just looking to take a deep breath and settle into this spot. Do not want to give Corvallis any freebies. Now another pitch misses up and in, and that is 8 straight balls from Perry Stowe. And runners are on first and second as Marasco gets the free pass. And that brings in the legacy, Kellen Siegel. Siegel just finished up his redshirt sophomore year at Lynn-Ben Community College down in Albany, Oregon with the Roadrunners. Has since committed to continue his academic and athletic career at Cal Poly. Pops up the bunt, and it's going to get too far away from Jalen Kennedy into the netting for strike 1. Kellen Siegel, the younger brother of Caden Siegel, who competed for the Knights in 2022 and 2024, and of course the son of Dan Siegel, the Corvallis Knights CEO and founder. Dan Siegel alongside his brother Joe Siegel, founding the Aloha Knights in Beaverton. As bunt will be put down, crashing from third as Hassan relays the throw on to first for an out, but Siegel does his job, lays down the sack bunt, moves the runners over into scoring position with 1 down. As the lineup card flips back over to Diego Cruz. And pressure is on as the Corvallis Knights looking to storm ahead in tonight's game of the weekend. Looking to start off the divisional series with a victory. Of course, these West Coast League divisional series are a best of 3. Hard line drive gets past a diving Kyler Bittner. Garvey will score easy. Marasco will get the wave round throw into 2. Will be all that it is, and Diego Cruz has a 2 RBI single as Corvallis extend the lead to 3 here in Borleske Stadium. And the Knights is doing a great job capitalizing on the free bases. Given was a fastball middle low and just left 2 hittable for the MAC freshman of the year in Cruz. And just a hard line drive, and now Cruz will immediately take off for second. The throw from Kennedy going to be off the bag, skips way up and will land by Bittner as Cruz swipes second and moves himself into scoring position after knocking in a couple runs. Trying to give the RBI to Max Medina. Again, on paper, these two teams pretty similar all around, have kind of had their differences more in momentum, I would say, as and Corvallis did struggle a little bit more in the first half of the season, then had an incredible second half surge where they were able to take the second half title, lock down a playoff spot, and get the 2 seed and home field advantage here in the 2026 postseason. Has a good pitch from Stowe. Just misses about half a ball off the plate. Meanwhile, the Sweets have just been steady. And steady is the best way to describe it. We're second in the first half, second in the second half, just behind the Knights. Fly ball out to left field, trailing out towards the line is Schofield. Long run into foul territory. It's going to go off his glove and drop. And a big potential second out there for the Sweets now, just laying in the foul territory grass as Medina will walk back to home plate, and Diego Cruz will walk back to second as he was tagging up, trying to advance on deeper fly ball that just kind of seared into the corner. Two balls, 2 strikes, runner on second. Stowe kicks and fires in. A good breaking ball missing off the inside corner. And the count goes full to Medina as pitch count working heavy for Stowe as he's already sitting at 40 pitches just through inning and a third, and very well could be a quicker call to the bullpen. I do believe it's the Sac State right-hander in Alex Cohen, who's set to be the first guy out of the bullpen. 3-2 pitch on the way, misses down low. Medina will walk, and that is the 3rd walk issued by Stowe this inning. And we'll see skipper Leo Rivera come out. He will tap the wrist early here in the 2nd inning. And the all-star starter, Perry Stowe, will exit after just an inning and a third, and that will bring out Alex Cohen. The right-hander committed to play at Cal State Northridge after finishing up a redshirt year at Sacramento State, will step in to toe the rubber and have to try and make a long appearance out of the bullpen as Corvallis lead 3-0 in the first game of the postseason. We'll be right back as Cohen gets all warmed up.
Summer ball just, it has that romantic kind of energy. The sun's out, you get to really enjoy your summer. You're still playing baseball, something you love, but at the same time, you get those precious off days. You get to go out and hang out with your boys, and it's cool. It's really unique because you're playing with guys all over America who you would never have an opportunity to play with, but you create these really long forming friendships that, I still talk to those guys. The people that you meet is amazing, the host families that you have. We had something really special, man. It was baseball at its purest, and not only did we all love the game, we love each other, and we were playing just to play another game. It wasn't we have to win the series. It was just like we just want to play another game with each other. I played for the Corvallis Knights, home field of the Beavers, where I went to school at Oregon State. I knew a lot of guys that played there before. Nick Madrigal. I played with Adley, Zach Taylor. Playing for the Knights felt like an honor. The West Coast League is a great place to play some ball. I mean, you got some premier pitchers out there. I thought the quality of pitchers in the West Coast League was just as good as our college season. I think there's some leagues where it's just like, get your reps, get out of there, but you're there to win every single game. The coaches care, the fans care. It's a real fun environment, but competitive at the same time. Summer ball is just its own kind of beast. There's people who are just Corvallis Knights fans. I tell them oh, excited for the Oregon State season, and they really couldn't care less. They're all about the Corvallis Knights season, and we had a winning tradition up to that point, so they expected us to win. They have fans love their baseball. They're knowledgeable as well. We had a bunch of kids there. That was always a bunch of fun. It was definitely a really cool experience.
I love coming in here. Everybody is always super welcoming. They always greet me by name. You can tell that everyone here actually likes working here.
My favorite thing about Walla Walla Orthodontics is how nice the staff are. They're funny, fun, and they're helpful.
I had what was called 3D braces. They were the same color as my teeth. People would say, oh, you have braces? They didn't even know that I had braces. I highly recommend this orthodontist office.
West Coast League game of the week continues on here in Walla Walla, Washington. The 2-seeded Corvallis Knights leading 3-0 over the 3-seed Walla Walla Sweets, and have a pair of runners aboard and just one out here in the top of the second as Ethan Porter steps in for the second time, now doing it against the new arm in Alex Cohen. And Cohen has been a star-studded reliever for the Sweets this summer, making his 11th appearance, had 10 appearances in the regular season, tacking up a 5-1 record, tied for second in the West Coast League in pitcher wins. And Cohen repping a 2.61 ERA during that time, 31 innings. Cohen looking back out towards second. Diego Cruz fires and misses up and in. As count goes 2-0. And this inning started with back-to-back walks administered by the starter and Perry Stowe. Sack bunt laid down by Kellen Siegel to move him over. Then Diego Cruz, a 2 RBI single to help the Sweets break into a bigger lead. And then Max Medina walked in. He now stands on first with Cruz on second. And Cohen missing inside again to Porter. And the count is 3-0. And Cohen in his 31 innings pitch has just issued 7 walks on the summer. Has done well just throwing strikes, but now has to battle back in a 3-0 count. Will miss inside. It looks like that actually might have gotten Ethan Porter just off the arm guard. Either way, the result will be the same. Porter moves up to first, and the bases are loaded with 1 down, and the cleanup hitter steps in, and Maverick Russell. It was a 3-0, and it just got off the arm guard of Porter. So Russell steps in. Bases loaded, Sweets in trouble here. Corvallis a chance to really storm into the lead here in the second. Cohen tries to spot the bottom of the zone, does so at 88, and a borderline call at the knees. Have seen a couple of those given consistently by home plate umpire Jacob Fisher. And Jacob Fisher and Clayton Kellogg following the Sweets from Salem back here to Borleske Stadium in Corvallis. As Cohen kicks and fires high, fastball lined into left center field. Run will score. Max Medina will come around third to score as well. Settling into third is Porter. And we'll see Russell settle up into second. It's 2 more runs knocked in as the lead extends 5-0 Corvallis here in just the second inning. And the free passes continue to be taken advantage of by the 2-seeded Corvallis Knights as they bring in another pair of runs. It will be deemed a single for Maverick Russell, advancing to second base on the throw. As right now the Knights have 5 runs on just 4 hits. And a off-speed misses inside for Cohen. Needs to be careful again. 2 more runners in scoring position. Just 1 out. Cohen sporting just a 3-pitch mix, a fastball, a slider, and a curveball. Has some great spin rate behind both those off-speed pitches, and the fastball can get up towards the low 9s as darts one right through the heart of the plate. As Corvallis putting a ton of pressure on the Swedes bullpen early on here in game number 1, and that's just going to put a ton of pressure on the bullpen for really the rest of the postseason, however long it lasts for the Swedes. Again, tomorrow night, Walla Walla and Corvallis will head over to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the home of the Knights and the Oregon State Beavers, to play Game 2 and potentially Game 3 if it occurs. 1-2 delivery from Cohen, misses towards the back foot. We're going to see a check swing appeal over to the third base umpire, and Clayton Kellogg will say that shun held up. Again, Dakota, hard ground ball through the right side of the infield his last time up to put across the first run of the day. Trying to battle back in the 2-strike count. 2-2 pitch on its way. It's going to be grounded up towards the middle. Long run for Reeser. Can't get there. We'll see the wave around third for Russell as he'll come in to score. It's another RBI single for Chun. This time he brings around 2, and it's 7-0 Corvallis early. As the Knights just seem unstoppable here in the second inning, as the third baseman in Severns will step in back-to-back 2 RBI singles from Russell and Chun. Now the Knights catcher just the lone base runner out on first base, but a 7-0 lead in the pocket for Corvo, and feeling incredibly confident to open things up as Cohen does pick up a first pitch strike to Severns. Severns did strike out looking his first time up versus Stowe. Ground ball chop foul out towards the Sweets dugout, and that's Quade Gonzalez the fourth, showing off the good hands over there just left of the dugout. Walla Walla just looking to stabilize, as in this game has gotten out of hand quick. Pitch on the way from Cohen, misses the outside edge. As the other semifinal games happening currently, the Divisional Series matchup. Of course, the North ones have started. Still waiting for Portland and Ridgefield to start up, and first pitch will be in just a few minutes here. Cohen deals the 1-2. It's going to be hard grounded over to Gage Reeser. Spins it over to Bittner, looking on to first. The throw to first is not in time. And a good bit of speed from Severns as he's going to beat out the double play ball over to first. And that will just be 1 out for the Sweets, as do finally find that second out. It'll be now 2 down with a runner on first, as the Knights have officially gone through the order here in the second. Zane Garvey steps back in. As he walked and came around to score his first time up now. Takes the first pitch slider from Cohen. As Knights have easily established a lead again, looking into those North Division games. Kelowna and Wenatchee currently in the third inning. The Apple Sox have already established a 2-0 lead over the Falcons up in British Columbia. And over in Nanaimo, BC, the Night Owls and Bellingham Bell still knotted up at zeros. No one has yet to score in that game, and we'll be interested in seeing how the Portland and Ridgefield series continues, as a foul ball will head out by the third base side and put a little bit of a dent in the hitting facility out there beyond the left field foul line. And these two teams faced off here in Walla Walla over 2 months ago now. 0-2 pitch from Cohen, misses the outside corner, and a late steal over to second. A good throw from Jalen Kennedy. Tag is applied by Reeser, and Severns is cut down on the delayed steal attempt, and that will close up the top of the second. A long half inning as the Corvallis Knights add on 6 runs. 4 of the 6 that came around to score got on through walk or hit by pitch, and now Corvallis have a staggering lead early. The bats of the Sweets looking to turn it around.
My experience at West Coast League was fun. You know, there's a big difference going from California over there to Walla Walla, Washington. And the crowds were actually really good for such a small town. They really showed up for us, and everybody was very welcoming. It was an awesome experience.
How much does speed play a factor in your game here?
Oh, it's a huge factor. Ball in the gap or just even a C&I single. If you get out of the box good, you can even try and stretch to a double sometimes.
Durant hits that hard into the gap. Here goes Durant. He's blazing around second. Into third. It's a 2-run triple.
Jaron Durant, a triple to the gap in right center.
For me, that summer was about embracing like new teammates and embracing new challenges because you're seeing different types of pitchers and it's really fast-paced, a lot of bunting, some new positions, new skills. Kind of helps with like leadership and like getting to know guys, and it was a good development for me in a lot more aspects than I expected. That was some of the best coaching staff that I've had. Back then I was a second baseman. I thought if I just played really good second base, I'd be able to stay there, but they better use me in the outfield, which is awesome. I'm loving it now.
On the defensive side, you've been making some pretty good plays. You've been playing really all over the field now.
Hit coming on Duran, diving ahead, he's got it.
What can he do at this point? Wow, changing the game both offensively and defensively, that's huge.
JD's one of my best friends in the organization. He's just such a hard worker. He's super intense on the field, but he's completely different off of it. He's really laid back, relaxed, loves to have fun, brings such a good rapport and demeanor to the clubhouse. There's so many great things to say about him and the way that he goes about his business.
Arlo Pendleton back on the bump for the Knights here in the bottom of the second of this West Coast League divisional semifinal and West Coast League game of the week. Pendleton now pitching with a 7-0 lead, just a bit heftier of a cushion heading into this second inning, facing off against the designated hitter in Royce Hale, who steps up and takes strike one. And first pitch swinging, grounds it over towards Russell as first pitch towards the middle of the zone. He put a swing on and Russell able to take care of it over to first, 98 off the bat. But settled by the Knights first baseman. As Pendleton has been the definition of efficient so far. He's picked up 4 outs in just 11 pitches. Meanwhile, the Swedes are having to turn to their bullpen, and Bo Stinson looking to be a guy to put a charge into something, as Stinson currently second on the team in home runs. Does take strike one, looked a little bit low, but again, Jacob Fisher has been consistent with that part of the zone early on in this game. Another pitch on the way in towards the hand line out to the second baseman and Cruz, as he'll collect it nice and easy. And that's 2 up, 2 down from Pendleton on just 4 pitches. And that brings up Hawson. Hawson going into his final year of eligibility at Cumberland University, playing NAIA ball, and a Tennessee native. Talked about a lot of guys playing far from home, far from where they go to school, and it's tough to beat a guy like Gaines coming out from the southeast. And only having kind of one guy on the roster who beats him out in terms of distance from home as a tough swing there. Pendleton had him fooled on the 1-0 pitch. Of course, the one guy who's going to kind of have everyone beat is the guy waiting on deck, and that's Ethan Buckley. And Buckley, the Cape Town, South African native. And tough to get further than that is another swing and a miss, and Hawson really not on time at all with what Pendleton is dealing here. So Pendleton trying to get through the second inning in just 8 pitches. Going to be rocking it out to deep left field. Tracking back is Porter. He has to watch it over his head and over the left field fence. Gaines Hawson on a 1-2 count knocks his second homer of the season to put Walla Walla on the board. And why need a 2-out rally when one swing can do it yourself? And immediately Hawson means business, talking to Ethan Buckley about what he saw from Pendleton. Is now it's just an off-speed pitch from the right-hander, left middle in. Hawson did a great job keeping the hands inside, sent it over the left field fence, about 358 feet on that solo shot. And that does bring up the South African native. First pitch swinging, grounds it up the middle. It's going to take an ugly hop towards Diego Cruz, and Buck will settle on to first. we'll see how that's scored in the books, as it will be deemed an error on Diego Cruz. First error that we've seen tonight. So Buckley stands aboard and brings up JK. And Kennedy was a later add to the roster, has been with the Sweets for a little while now. Kennedy, a good catcher out of Lower Columbia, helped the Red Devils earn themselves an NWAC title this past spring as a true freshman. Has been getting a lot of reps for the Sweets this summer, and has just been a guy who has had some really impressive games and can have some off days, but can have some huge on days. The 0-1 delivering misses outside from Pendleton. So when he's rolling, is a guy you definitely want to have on the roster. Is a good guy behind the plate, shows a lot of maturity. Just a good bit of poise behind the plate, and in the batter's box, swings away early here. Foul tip straight back into the glove of Chun. Count moves to 1-2. Again, the highlight for Jalen Kennedy was back on the 4th of July, a little over a month ago now, as he tallied his first hit as a Sweet, and it was an inside the park home run. Now chops another ball foul wide of the third base side. It was just looked to be a regular base hit out to center, but at the time, it got past a diving Ridgefield Raptor center fielder and all the way to the wall and really out a little more towards the right center gap, and Kennedy was completely gassed coming all the way around to score, but it was a 3-run inside the Parker for his first hit as a Sweet, and now trying to help Walla Walla compete in the postseason. Count evens up, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the second inning. Ethan Buckley leading off of first. Corvallis still well in the driver's seat. The Sweets need to start somewhere, and a solo home run from Gaines Hawson. Good way to do it. 2-2 pitch on the way from Pendleton. Line past the shortstop of Marasco. And it just kind of peters out next to him. Was able to scoop it up on the dirt, but it's a single for Jalen Kennedy. And the 2-out rally continues. As that brings up the youngest guy on the Walla Walla Sweets roster, and that is Ronan Schofield, who steps in. Schofield graduated out of Juanita High School in Kirkland, Washington this past spring. Just turned 18 less than a month ago. First pitch he sees will get called strike on the inside edge. Schofield, a good lefty, committed to play with the Washington State Cougars next spring. Being entrusted with a starting spot here in the postseason, rips the ball foul out towards the Corvallis bullpen and out towards the sweet spot here in Borleske Stadium. And a good crowd here for playoff baseball in Walla Walla. And Sweets' first time in the postseason since 2019, breaking a long drought. Schofield grounds it over the first base side. It's going to kick off the glove of Maverick Russell, but over to first. The play still completed in time as Russell was able to settle the throw back up to Pendleton for out number 3. And the crowd here in Walla Walla not happy about it as the third out found by the Knights, and a little less pretty, but the job's still done. Gaines Hawson gets the Sweets on the board with a solo home run, but it's still a dominant 7-1 lead for the Knights as we move along into the third.
Whatever your printing needs, Abbott's Printing does it all. Signs and banners, rich, full-colored, high-quality commercial and digital printing, direct mailings, full-color business cards, and postcards. If you want a printing job done right, then Abbott's Printing is the place to be. Abbott's Printing provides award-winning quality and outstanding customer service. Visit abbottsprinting.com to view their selection or call 453-8202. That's 453-8202. Abbott's Printing, where the excellence is on paper.
Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla is proud to be the official hotel of the Walla Walla Suite. Our guests are sure to get a great night's sleep in one of our recently remodeled rooms, and our 24-hour pool and spa are perfect for round-the-clock relaxation. Each night at Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla is followed by a complimentary breakfast included with every stay. At Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla, you can catch some Z's while the suites catch some W's. Wins, that is.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
First pitch into Zane Garvey is a called strike by Jacob Fisher. Alex Cohen getting ahead 0-1 in the count here in the top of the third inning. And Sweets got on the board in the last half inning with a solo shot over the left field fence by third baseman Gaines Hawson. So Walla Walla have their first and need one to try and turn it back around. And Garvey took a curveball for strike two. And that three-pitch mix from Cohen. We'll see which avenue he goes to here on the 0-2. Tries a slider outside, just misses. Good frame attempt from Kennedy on the edge. Garvey just finished up season at Western Oregon University, playing with the Wolves in Division II ball. Has since transferred to play at Portland. Looping, breaking ball, just misses outside. And Garvey will go to Portland as a junior. Stands at 6'4", 190 pounds. Tall guy in the batter's box just has a longer swing. Now takes another off-speed pitch. This one is a called strike. Garvey saying something quickly to Jacob Fisher as it's a ring up, and that being the first strikeout for Cohen. All three strikeouts we've seen issued by the Sweets pitching staff have all been looking. As Cohen right back into a first pitch breaking ball, shook off the bunt of Marasco, who had to pull it back. And Marasco just finishing up that freshman season at George Fox is, of course, the reigning Northwest Conference Rookie of the Year. Good slider in there for a strike. Batted .253 while getting on base about 32% of the time as a freshman. Had 4 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 19 ribbies at George Fox as Cohen kicks and deals another slider in there for a strike. Did have a season high 4 hits right here at Borleske Stadium, as it was George Fox versus the Whitman College Blues here in Borleske. So 4 hits on this ballpark previously, now goes down swinging. It's back-to-back Ks from Alex Cohen. A filthy slider to get the swing and miss. We talked about the spin rate behind those 2 pitches. That slider spin rate coming in at 2,950 RPM. Just a ton of bend behind it, lots of late breaking. You can see it again there, cold for a strike as and borderline on the outside edge. We have seen the zone expanded a little bit from Jacob Fisher. Of course, watching the zone issued by the TrackMan data is hovering about half a ball to a ball towards the lower half of the zone and kind of towards all edges, in, out, and lower. Count moves to 0-2 on big swing and a miss from Siegel. Designated hitter trying to stay afloat. Curveball drops in for strike 3, and Alex Cohen sets down the side by way of the K. And the Cal State Northridge Matador cooking here in his first full inning of work as he sets down the Knights easy to bring us into the bottom of the third inning.
I was scheduled to go to the West Coast League out of high school, and then the draft happened, so there was a slow process deciding whether to sign or not, and then eventually I didn't. My whole senior year, I was like, oh yeah, summer will be cool. I was nervous for it, but I was also very excited. The group of guys that we had there was special. You know, I was jumping into a new group of kind of older guys. Most of them were a year or two older than me. It was really good for me being like a younger player. They kind of showed me the ropes of what college baseball and summer ball was about, and really helped me through that whole process.
First pitch, McLean, deep center!
I think hitting with the bats every day was different. Playing every day that consistent was different for me. Coming from high school, the competition was good. It was a good introduction to Pac-12 baseball. You got guys throwing every day who are top of the rotation guys in college, Friday night guys, Saturday night guys, and get to face that as a senior going into a freshman year was really an advantage for me because it really made me get better and realize I need to get better quick. But it was a lot of fun. You know, everyone in Bellingham welcomed me with open arms, and it was a great first summer ball experience. I couldn't ask for anything more. My host family was so awesome. I mean, the Ayers, I still talk with them like weekly, maybe once every 2 weeks. To form that connection, that relationship that I still have with them and other teammates, I'll remember those for the rest of my life. Bellingham fans, thank you guys for always supporting me. I really appreciate it. You guys made it special for me.
Swedes picked up their first run of the ball game last inning, now trying to add on more and have the top of the lineup to do it as Alex Cohen, the right-hander for the Swedes, got Walla Walla back on the bats relatively quick by striking out the side. And now we'll see if the top of the lineup is going to be able to provide a little bit more of a spark as it's Kyler Bittner leading things off. Did have a leadoff single back in the bottom of the first. It was just a good two-strike single into left center field. Swinging away, fouls it off himself and trickles out towards first base side. Excuse me, third base side. As Bittner has taken a hold of the leadoff spot for the Swedes, as that spot has just kind of been up for grabs recently, as was the Troy University commit, and Peyton Knowles was another West Coast League All-Star who sported the #1 spot in the lineup for Walla Walla for the majority of this season. But of course, Peyton Knowles has since stepped away from the roster and preparing to head down to Alabama to continue his academic and athletic career. And then in the leadoff spot, saw Cole Rogers get moved there. He has since been inactive from the roster. Then saw Trevor T., the Colorado Mesa infielder, get moved to the leadoff spot. And he is also been removed from the roster, as all those guys getting set for their next years of college. And of course, that is the tougher part when it comes down to August, is trying to be able to hold as much of a team together as you can moving into this 2026 postseason. Manager Leo Rivera and the rest of the coaching staff have had to rein things together as Kyler Bittner smashes one to deep left field. No doubt about it. And the Swedes put 2 on the board, and both have been round trippers. A solo homer from Gaines Hawson last inning, and now Kyler Bittner lets it fly. First home run of the summer for Bittner, and what a time it is. A leadoff homer to open up the third. 102 miles an hour off the bat, about 364 feet over the left field fence, and Ethan Porter, he just turned around and watched it. So 2-7, and Sam Kane showing bunt, pulls it back, and the first base umpire, JT Rentschler, will say that he held off, and Sam Kane trying to surprise the Corvallis defense, as and Kane currently tied for #1 in the West Coast League in home runs with 11. Now grounds one over towards the left side. Joey Rasco scoops it up. The play over to first is just in time for out #1. Again, did think the long ball might be one of the bigger differences between the Sweets and the Knights, as when it comes to hitting for average, both teams very similar. Corvallis batting .272 in the regular season, the Sweets batting .265. Not too different, but when it comes to home runs, Walla Walla ended the regular season tied for second in homers with 35. Meanwhile, the Corvallis Knights finished tied for last in the West Coast League in home runs with just 14. We're not too much of a power hitting team. Doesn't mean they weren't without their extra base hits, as Reeser takes ball 2 on the inside edge. As Corvallis did finish 4th in the league in doubles, led the league in triples, but just not a huge home run hitting team. We do have the tougher ballpark in Goss. Goss Stadium not quite known for the wood bat homers as much as the Oregon State Beavers metal bat home runs that come through every spring. It will be fun for both teams to head back over to the OSU campus tomorrow. Face off again in game 2, potentially 3. Again, the Sweets weren't at Corvallis too long ago. That was back on July 17th, 18th, and 19th. It's just 3 weeks ago now. We're out at Goss, and a lot of the guys on the Sweets roster credit that was a great experience, and being able to play at the home of the Beavers, a historic collegiate baseball program, and to play on Coleman Field and in front of a big crowd, and expecting the crowd to be even bigger tomorrow night for game 2 between these two teams. Pendleton kicks and deals the payoff pitch, and it will just miss off the low and away corner at 90 miles an hour. Reeser will walk, and he's aboard for the first time today. Field over at Oregon State is a beautiful turf and has definitely been worn in a little bit through all the baseball that's played on that surface. You know, I myself have been to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field quite a few times as an Oregon State alumni. As Royce Hale, first pitch he sees, is going to ground over towards Diego Cruz. He spins it out towards second, back over to first. Not in time. The big wheels of Royce Hale get spinning and prevent the inning-ending double play. But the fielder's choice will retire Reeser at second, so it's 2 down with a runner on first. So again, got to have the pleasure of returning to my alma mater to call the Swedes versus the Knights in their second series. Again, Walla Walla ended up taking that series 2-1 with a rubber match victory on July 19th, a 9-1 finish. Off speed misses down low to Bo, and Stinson, who's up at the plate now, was a guy who really seemed to be comfortable at Goss Stadium as he opened up the series with a big fly. Now cuts one over towards the third base side. It's going to be Severance who handles it across the diamond. He goes for the third out. Sweets pick up another, and it's due to another solo home run. Kyler Bittner goes yard for the first time in the 2026 summer to cut the lead down to 5, but Corvallis still moving steadily ahead here in Walla Walla.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kinda is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
It'll be the top of the lineup for Corvallis here in the top of the fourth inning, as the Sweets were able to tack on a second run last inning with another homer, and Alex Cohen continuing to get up and deal as he fires in strike one, as Cruz still again showing off that potential slap hitting method, which we'll usually see more in softballs, kind of just running up to the front of the box, just looking to put it in play to the third baseman. Gaines Hawson is playing shallow on the infield grass. A 1 pitch from Cohen is a looping curveball right down the middle for strike two. Froze up Cruz, as that ball came in at 77 miles an hour, and you cannot get more middle of the zone than that. Cruz now having to fight out of the 0-2 count. Another curveball. This time Cruz able to put a little bat on it. Again, Diego just finished up his freshman year for the Red Hawks of Miami, Ohio. From Carolina, Puerto Rico. Bats left, throws right. Was the MAC Freshman of the Year. Of course, has since announced his commitment to play at Oregon State. Will be retired here as the leadoff man. The grounder taken care of on the right side by Ethan Buckley. So it brings up Medina. And seeing of course, a ton of good California guys on the roster for Corvallis, and of course having their share of Oregon State commits, but Max Medina just finished up his high school career at Patterson High School down in California. Came in as the number 32 ranked outfielder in all of the state of California. Just a pure lefty standing at 5'10", of course, committed to play with the Mustangs at Cal Poly for his first year of school. Will head down to San Luis Obispo very soon, as a slider just misses outside. And the home fans here at Borleske Stadium wanted that call. The 2-1 pitch from Cohen is a heater that misses away. So now 3-1. Again, did see Alex Cohen issue one hit by pitch, and that's the only free pass he's given us when he first came in back in the second inning. Now trying to allow a walk here. but will do just that. 5 pitches. Medina aboard for the 2nd time in a row with a walk. That puts 1 on with 1 out. The sun is slowly starting to come down beyond the first base side. And temperature dropping into the upper 80s, but the 80s regardless. Still a soft breeze kicking through here in Walla Walla. Cohen kicks and fires into Porter, who fouls it away. And the air quality still feeling a lot better here in Walla Walla, but the smoke still kind of coating the outside as you can kind of still see the haze. The Blue Mountains tough to spot from Borleske. Cohen fires the 0-1, another curveball into Porter, who takes it for a strike. The Corvallis left fielder gone on twice, once through a single, once through a hit by pitches. Come around to score both times. Cohen looking in, takes his time, fires another curveball into the plate, found straight back again. As our saying Max Medina shuffling pretty good off of first, kind of a smaller lead and then getting a bigger secondary, meaning after the pitch is thrown, kind of hops off the plate, hops off of the bag a little bit more. Medina does have 15 stolen bases on the year, has been caught 5 times. 75% on his attempts. Another off speed, this time it was the slider that was found straight back. Again, Cohen has been such a good arm out of the bullpen for the Sweets. Did struggle a little bit more his last time out, as that was versus the Portland Pickles exactly a week ago. Hard ground ball up the middle is going to split through the second baseman and shortstop. And Ethan Porter will get on for the 3rd time today in just 4 innings, as there'll now be 2 runners on with just 1 out for the cleanup hitter in Russell. And Cohen threw nearly 4 innings versus the Pickles last Friday, allowed 2 runs in that time. But before that, had his best outing of the summer, as it was versus Portland the first time around. That was 2 weeks ago versus the Pickles. It's not last Friday, but the Friday before it, as he threw 5 innings out of the bullpen versus the Pickles, allowed 4 hits, no runs, and 5 strikeouts. 5 innings out of the bullpen, completely shutting out Portland to help lead the Sweets to a 5-3 series opening victory. Misses the breaking ball inside towards the back knee of Russell. And that really just showcasing what he can do. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 runners aboard. Cohen looking back towards second, kicks and fires towards the plate, misses the low and away corner. And Cohen did announce his commitment to Cal State Northridge just a couple weeks ago, as he'll head closer to home, as being about 10 miles from his hometown of Studio City, California, up in Northridge. 2-1 pitch on the way, hard grounded over towards the first base side. Buckley spins it over to second. Reeser is there, back on its way to first. Cohen is there to receive the double play. 3-6-1, a beauty of work from the Walla Walla defense to get out of the top of the 4th inning. 2 runners on, no matter. None come around to score. Walla Walla provide another shutout bit of work from Alex Cohen, still trying to chop away at this Knights lead. It's 2-7 Corvallis.
College summer ball is a blast. Playing baseball and going all over the Pacific Northwest is beautiful in the summertime. Great league, fun cities to travel to, great weather, fun ballparks. Give me a kind of like a taste of what it was like to play professional baseball with the schedule, playing every day, taking long bus rides. Made a lot of good friends on those teams, and a couple big leaguers on my team. Matt Duffy, Matt Boyd. You get to meet guys from all over the country, come together for a couple months in the summertime. All try to get better and push each other, and a lot of good memories looking back on that summer in Corvallis.
Fuel the adrenaline is
coming out now.
Yeah, Mitch Haniger on the mound.
He was a key piece of our club that season, and he was one of the most talented, if not the most talented position player on the field at that time. And Mitchie, you know, he was going through some early struggles, mostly due to the fact that his lower back was tight and sore all the time. And coming off his freshman season at Cal Poly, he was shy.
Who was your first kiss?
I don't even remember.
We had a pink bat day, a breast cancer awareness day. Next thing you know, Mitch comes up and he hits one out of the park, and he ended up not letting go of that pink bat for a couple of weeks. I mean, I think he went on a tear, maybe 5 or 6 home runs in the next 10 or 12 games, and it was really neat to see kind of that turnaround, and kind of came out of his shell a little bit more.
Yeah, summer ball days, it's hard to get your hands on a good bat, so once you got one, just ride with it. You know, we were blessed to play, you know, OSU and Corvallis, and what a great, you know, little college town that was, and it just prepares you for professional baseball. I think it was such a valuable experience for me to go through in college, and it definitely helped me in the minor leagues.
Gaines Hawson will lead things off at the bottom of the fourth, taking strike one from Arlo Pendleton. Back out for another inning of work. Gaines Hawson was the man to get the Sweets on the board back in the second inning. A solo home run off of Pendleton, who is, again, just given up. 2 homers now. Inside fastball, and seeing the appeal from Chun out to umpire JT Rentschler, who doesn't deem it a swing. Count evens up at 1-1. And Pendleton has just allowed 4 hits so far. He's allowed a pair of singles and a pair of homers. But head coach Brooke Knight, and giving him the reins for likely a large chunk of this outing, just wants to keep the pitching staff as well attached as he can. As Hawson's going to pop it up to the right side of the infield. Into foul territory is Maverick Russell, running out of room, and will be able to hold on to it. Just about 5 feet shy of the netting for the first out. And Pendleton, his last time out was back on August 1st, that being last Saturday. Back in Goss Stadium versus the Yakima Valley Pippins, the final home series of the regular season for the Knights. He through game 2, ended up spending 5 innings, allowed just 2 hits and no earned runs, striking out 6 Pippins across the evening. And now comes back to face Walla Walla, as this being the second time that Pendleton has gone toe-to-toe with the Sweets. As we talked about the last time these two teams faced off in Corvallis, when it came down to the rubber match game 3. That was back on July 19th. Pendleton started that third game versus Walla Walla, only got through 2 1/3 before having to be taken out as he gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. Ethan Buckley, hard ground ball, scooped up by Marasco. He back up to his feet. The throw along to first, not in time, as JT Rentschler said that Russell was off the bag and then ended up dropping it. So Ethan Buckley is going to stand on first. And the Sweets have a base runner with 1 down. We'll see how that's marked in the scorebooks. And so see if they give it a single to Buckley. It very well could be deemed a throwing error if JT Rentschler said that Russell was off the bag. Do have the official West Coast League scorekeeper, Steven, somewhere in the press box, is recording book for this game and making sure everything is dialed in as a first pitch strike called at the knees versus Jalen Kennedy. Pendleton has still been keeping his pitch count very steady, as JK goes right back up the middle with a liner. Buckley will settle into second with the single. And Jalen Kennedy is 2 for 2 with a pair of base hits. And also do want to flash back to that last play. Ethan Buckley did get on through a throwing error. It was deemed a throwing error on Marasco. That being the second error of the game for the Knights, and both have allowed Buckley to get aboard. As now he stands in scoring position and brings up Schofield. The new Wazoo Cougar swings with the first pitch he sees, grounds it over to Cruz. He spins it back to second in time. Schofield easily safe over at first. Fielder's choice will pick up the second out, and that'll leave runners on the corners with 2 down. And the Sweets trying to do everything they can to chip away at this lead, and doing it 1 run, 1 inning at a time is not the most efficient method, but would get the job done. As Pendleton looks into the leadoff man, fires in ball 1. That pitch just missing high. Another borderline call again. Have seen Jacob Fisher kind of settle into the lower part of the zone. Schofield off of first, Buckley off of third. Pendleton kicks and fires inside, grounded through the left side by Kyler Bittner. He picks up his second ribby of the evening, and the Sweets put another on the board. As Kyler Bittner is 3 for 3, a pair of singles and a solo home run. First game in the leadoff spot, and looks mighty comfortable there. So that brings up Sam Kane. Runners on first and second, and we'll see a meeting on the mound for Pendleton, as has been steady in control, and in just the 2 runs he previously gave up were off big swings from Hawson and Bittner. Now 1 error and a couple more base hits are able to tally the 3rd run for the Sweets, as 1 in the second, 1 in the third, now 1 in the fourth, as Pendleton's pitch count has gotten up to 55, and it does look like there is a pitcher maybe starting to go out there and get warm, as that does look like number 14, Cooper Markham. Good right-hander for the Knights will start loosening up for Corvallis, as Sam Kane going to be another player to put a charge into something. And mention Kane out of the University of Nevada, Reno, previously stopped at Seattle. You know how he became acquainted with his head coach here at Walla Walla, and Leo Rivera, and a couple other teammates. Pitch on the way from Pendleton, misses just below the knees, and Sam Kane washed it all the way in. And had previous teammates, Peyton Knowles, another Seattle guy, Royce Hale with the Redhawks. Isaac Hallam was the Sweets closer for a while, and continuing his career with the Wolfpack as a Nevada native. And has just had an incredible summer. Participated in the WCL All-Star Game, competed in the Home Run Derby, representing the South Division and the Sweets. Up 2-0 in the count, swings away, fouls it up and back towards the press box. As Kane, and you look at his numbers and you can really not doubt his offensive impact. Batting .318 on the summer, 49 ribbies, 16 doubles, 2 triples, 11 homers. 2-1 pitch on the way from Pendleton, up and in, called a strike. Kane shakes it off, will step back into the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners aboard. And Kane tied for the West Coast League in home runs and second in the league in runs batted in, also second in doubles. Pendleton fires a 2-2. It's going to be grounded out to the second baseman, and Diego Cruz, who is shading over towards the shortstop side, makes the play over to first in time. and that will strand 2 aboard, but the Sweets just keep chipping away 1 run at a time. It's now 3-7. Walla Walla still trailing the Knights up 7-3. When we come back in the top of the 5th, a special guest joining the broadcast.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Walla Walla Valley Honda is now Underwriter Honda of Walla Walla. The same great automotive family is here for all your needs. Service, parts, new Hondas, and top quality used vehicles, all backed by expert staff with the highest standards in the industry. After all, you're family at Underwriter Honda of Walla Walla and deserve the best. Visit us at underwriterhondaofwallawalla.com to schedule service or a test drive today. Underwriter Honda of Walla Walla. Walk in as a guest, drive off as family.
Back into the top of the 5th in the West Coast League game of the week. Sweets trailing 3-7 versus the Corvallis Knights as Alex Cohen continuing to work, facing off against Chun, who fouls it straight back. And now in the broadcast booth is the Walla Walla Sweets general manager, Cody Miller. First time being on the mic with you in the booth. We've been in here a couple times. You filled in for me a couple times while I was feeling under the weather and got to hear your play-by-play. But now here together.
Glad to be up here, and thanks for having me on, Brad.
I mean, you've seen this team develop right from the get-go. You're in your 5th season as a general manager with Walla Walla, and this being the first team's playoff appearance in 7 years, what do you think's kind of made this team a little bit different?
Oh, I mean, right from the get-go, it all started, back in September of 2025. Good pitch there by Cohen. When we brought Leo Rivera on board as the manager, and, the conversation started right there. He had a plan, he had a vision for what this team and what this, what this roster was going to look like. And we talked through it quite a bit, and I remember when we offered him the position.
Ground ball from Chun, kicks off the glove of Cohen, just slips up the middle for a leadoff knock, gets the Knights aboard again.
When we offered them position and he accepted, I'm pretty sure as soon as we got off the phone with each other, he called his first contact that he had been waiting to get a hold of officially, and he just hit the ground running from the recruiting standpoint. And he did it all off season, and he's continued to do it in season, and he's done a heck of a job building this team, and with the help of his coaching staff as well, to get some really good talent to Walla Walla this summer.
Well, it does have a good bit of connection, and of course, a little deeply rooted here with the Sweets as former Whitman guy and former Lewis Clark State guy not too far away, and former Sweet, of course, playing for Walla Walla for a couple of years and as an assistant coach. Do you think that kind of helped his transition into the head coaching role?
Absolutely, and he said from the beginning, he's like, I want to be here. Like, I want to be in Walla Walla. I want to find any way I can to be in. Like you said, he played here at Whitman College, and then went on to LC State for his last few years before he went on to Seattle U. But he came back as a player here as well, and then joined as an assistant, did a great job, and just really putting in the time and the effort the entire way, working his way up to now he's in the lead spot, and that it has helped because he's been able to see the game from almost every level so far, and I think that just helps out so much.
And a soft ball hit out to right field that drops in front of Stinson. He slips on the grass. We'll see Brooke Knight wave around Dakota Chun. The throw-in will be stopped by Buckley, and it ends up being an RBI single for Ryan Severns as the Knights add on an 8th run. Couple scoreless frames provided, but Corvallis finally get out Alex Cohen. and he's been an elite arm for the Sweets, as we have seen Walla Walla kind of produce really on all sides of the baseball. We've seen the offense come up with a lot of power hitting. We've seen the pitching really step up. Sweets leading the West Coast League in strikeouts for about the first month of the season. How does it kind of feel to have the team being able to work kind of on all ends of the game?
No, it's a really well-rounded team, and another thing about them is they never give up. They never feel like they're out of it. You know, we saw them tonight. We went down 7-0 before the second inning was over, but just chip away, and that's what they've done all year when they've gotten in this situation. And it's not going to be easy in this series trying to do it against Corvallis. I mean, they're a heck of an organization themselves. There's a reason why they've won. They've been in 18 or 19 consecutive postseasons.
Button put down back to Cohen. He'll just take the easy out over at first as Garvey does a job.
And I believe it's 8 or 9 championships. I, lost track. Just all that to say that Corvallis is just an exceptional organization from the top down. And Brooke Knight been at the helm for 18 years as well. So say all that to say it's not going to be easy to do it tonight. But if there was a team that I had confidence in doing it, it would be this one that's out there tonight.
Yeah, I think the mindset from Leo is one of the ones that's really tough to beat. And I talked to Leo pregame, as I usually do, and kind of asked him about a little bit about the polarizing difference between him as a rookie head coach versus Brooke Knight in his 18th season, and kind of talked about what it's like to have that difference between managers. And he looked at me and he said, I didn't really think about it. He does not see a difference at all. He fully believes he is, of course, at the same level. He is proved to be at the same level, and I think that really helps with this ball club as a whole, being able to feel like they belong, compete with the best if you want to be the best.
Absolutely, and that's, we talked about molding the roster from, last September on and through the season, but it's been the same message and the same, the same themes that we've seen throughout the summer and coming into it. I think you were in the locker room that day one when he, said what the message was to the players, not only representing yourselves, but also, respecting the team, respecting the organization, respecting the city. And he's really hammered that home. And I think that's paid dividends as we've gone throughout the summer, because as you know, we have guys that have been here since day one still with us, but also the other ones that have cycled through it, and it's just been the same constant message no matter who's coming through that door in the clubhouse. So it's a testament to him that what he's been able to do to, have these guys believing in that message. It's not always an easy thing to do, but he's shown from day one he's very capable of it.
A huge strikeout from Alex Cohen to set down Marasco for out number 2. 4th K for Alex Cohen as he continues working. And, do remember one of the big things that Leo said in that first day of the clubhouse. Is one of those things I look back and laugh at, was the clubhouse itself. He didn't have that as a player. And I remember that was one of the things he wanted all the guys who first got there to respect the space, respect Borleske and the facilities here that Whitman College also share, because as a former player, he didn't get to enjoy it, and he wants to make sure the team knows. And I think the team has done exactly that, as Walla Walla share the best home record in the West Coast League with the Bellingham Bells. Sweets are 20-7 here in Borleske, and they've settled in very comfortably in front of these home fans.
Well, and you go back to the clubhouse and what Leo's message was. It's the perspective that he has. You mentioned it. When he was here, they didn't have the clubhouse. It was the hitting facility, which is essentially was their clubhouse. That's where they changed. That's where they did BP. That's where they hit. That was their hangout spot. And the clubhouse is just over 2 years old now, after being dedicated back in April of 2024. So when he was able to come back as an assistant and see it, and now as the head coach, that was a big thing. He's like, just be grateful and appreciate what you have here. And he's able to see that because he didn't have it there. And when he's able to come back and see, like, hey, we have this now, be very grateful for it and respect it, and they've done a great job. And to even extend that to the playing surface that we have here, is that one's fouled out of play to the right. Got to give a shout out to our grounds crew, Tim Duncan, Pete Fowler. They do an amazing job on this field. And I say that to say that Leo's message also extended to the field, that we respect the field, because those two work day in and day out to make sure that this surface is one of the best in the Pacific Northwest. So it's been a message that he's hammered home, but it's been received by the players.
Yeah, we have seen the good difference between, turf and grass and dirt fields. A lot of teams playing on turf nowadays. Corvallis being one of them, of course, at Goss Stadium. Still great scenery they have there, but always coming here to Walla Walla, a little bit different, having to settle onto that natural dirt, natural grass. And I've talked to Leo about it, about playing on those different surfaces, and he thinks, he mentioned that playing here at Borleske as the home team does give you a little bit of advantage, as Cohen will leave a breaking ball out. It's going to be sent into right center by Siegel. We'll see the wave around third from Severn's. Play at the plate is not going to be in time. It kicks off of Severn's, and we'll see Siegel move up to second, and lead jumps back out 9-3 now, as after the Sweets are able to tack on two more put back by Corvallis, and their offense has just been tough to slow down.
And that's what we see from Corvallis year in and year out. They find a way to put the ball in play and advance guys, whether stolen base, sack bunt, test the guys in the outfield, going from second. That play right there is a great example. I believe you said it was Severance that scored. When that ball was hit, he was still standing on second base because of the pickoff play, but the aggressive nature of this team they're going to make the defense test. They're going to test the defense, rather. So
another hard line drive up the middle, this time from Diego Cruz. Gets in Sam Kane, lets it fly. Play at the plate to right into Jalen Kennedy. The swim move is not enough. Jalen Kennedy applies the tag. Sam Kane with a monstrous throw from center field. Brooke Knight not happy about it one bit on his way back to the dugout. He lets Jacob Fisher know his opinions about that call, but Sam Kane cuts down the third run. It remains 9-3. Corvallis add on a couple as we move into the bottom of 5.
The West Coast League, definitely has its place in baseball and produces some serious talent. I was a preferred walk-on at UC Santa Barbara. I ended up making the team and actually cracking the starting rotation my freshman year. As most freshman pitchers do, I had a little bit of a short leash, and so after that year, I was able to transition into the West Coast League and get a few more innings in there as well. It was a great place for me to get my feet wet after my first collegiate season, to go out there, compete against other college prospects and college arms and some real good bats as well. I met some great guys and made some great friends and really enjoyed the competition. It's definitely a special thing to be able to still be a college kid but focus completely on baseball. Even if it's just a few weeks or months, the experience goes a long way. I only threw 37 innings, not like MVP Eli Morgan with his 80-plus innings. Did he get any MVP votes? Well, he should have.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Slowed him down early and put him away with the foul.
I went to Yakima in 2014, graduated high school, and 3 days later I was in the middle of Washington, not really sure what I was getting into. It was a very late decision. I got a walk-on spot at Gonzaga really late that year and was told right around graduation time that they wanted me to go up there and play in this college league, and I didn't know it at the time, but having gone through it, it was a complete minor league baseball feel. It was just all first experiences for me, first time busting through the night, getting in at like 6 a.m. There was nothing but entourage on the bus. Entourage! So that was the only thing our coach would play for us, and just a lot of foggy memories, try to sleep through the night, get woken up to that theme song just blaring at 4 a.m. and it's a very disorienting feeling, but I do like entourage still.
There we go.
Gage Reisher will lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Sweets, and Cody Miller back with us in the booth. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Cody, is the offense in this team, primarily seeing all the all-stars that the Sweets were able to generate this year. 5 all-stars, tied for a league-high 3 pitchers, 2 position players. What was it like being able to see those players given that honor and then travel with them to Victoria, British Columbia for the 2026 All-Star Game?
It was quite the experience. I got to drive the pitchers over, and I believe one of the hitters went with our coach, who Leo Rivera was also invited to be an assistant on the staff. So if you count it all, we had 6 all-stars in my book. So just really cool. It was a great experience, and Victoria is a beautiful city, especially during the summer. So just being able to go up there, and we had great weather. It was sunny, just absolutely gorgeous, and it was a great time. It was just seeing the guys in like a relaxed environment where they just, obviously you want to perform well, whether it's in the home run derby that was the night before or the all-star game itself, but just seeing them relax and just being themselves and just having fun with it. It was a really good time. So was really proud of being able to say we had 6 all-stars this year, and couldn't be more happy for Sam, Peyton, Perry, Curtis, and Charles. So no, it was awesome. I'm so glad that they got to experience that.
Ground ball chopped on third base side. It's going to be a tough play for Severns on the run. Will make the throw over to Maverick Russell to pick up the first down, and showing a good bit of agility over there at third base to retire the leadoff man. But again, talking about the relaxed nature of those guys and being able to relax, I think it's been one of the big things about this team culture, not so much the relaxation, but the ability to get comfortable with one another, get comfortable on the playing field. And I think when this team is having fun, they look at their best. I mean, you kind of hear in little leagues, coaches say have fun, you'll play your best when you're having fun. And I think this team has shown that that applies even to higher levels.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's been really, you mentioned the home record that we've had, 20-7 tied with Bellingham, and just what they've been able to do from that side, I think it's really translated, especially over here, to just having fun. They're still focused, they're still doing all the work, they're out here. Some guys are here as early as 12:30 when we're in the clubhouse and we see the first few come in. They're here whether to get stretched out, or maybe they want to talk about the night before, or they want to get some early work in. So there's a lot going on between the time. Sorry, pause there, because that's the old shift, the MLB shift that we used to see before that got axed before, I believe 2 seasons ago. So second base. I'm sorry, you'll have to say it for me.
That's Diego Cruz at second.
It was all in shallow right field when I looked up and saw that. So, but no, it's a relaxed field. But knowing that they're putting the work in, 6 hours, 5 hours before first pitch even happens, that just shows the dedication these guys have. And it's not just a couple; it's a lot of them, if not the whole team that's showing up here and doing that.
And sometimes, team does have to get in early to watch a little bit of Love Island. have seen that in the clubhouse a couple of times, but
the last few days it's been Fast and Furious series.
Okay.
Today was Tokyo Drift.
Okay, that sounds about right. I've been had the pleasure of joining this team on many bus rides, and pitcher Blake Moore, he's the movie guy. He brings along a bunch of movies. I believe this past trip to Salem to play the Marion Berries, the final regular season series, did bring, I believe, Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. So that was a fun one.
The original,
yes. Yes.
Technically 1, 2, and 3, but episode 4, 5, and 6.
Yes, episode 4, 5,
Got
and 6.
you. Good choice, honestly, good choice.
As a strike called at the top of the zone to Stinson, home crowd here, and Borleske not happy about it.
It's kind of funny because I remember when Leo got here he got here about 5 days before the first game in Yakima, and he was just big on, is our bus going to have movies available? I'm pretty sure he's like, all right, we just got to stack up. We got to get as much in the inventory as we can. So I guess Blake took that to heart, or he just maybe become the designated movie guy. But yeah, I mean, with our travel schedule, I think a minimum bus ride, if we're not going to Yakima, is at least 4 hours. So have some time to kill.
Yeah, it's been movies, and recently karaoke has been a big thing.
I did hear the karaoke story this morning.
We've seen the incoming freshman being tasked with a lot of karaoke. As Stinson sends one out to deep left field. Going back is Porter all the way to the track. Will catch it out in the dirt for out number 2. Stinson about 10 feet shy of his 6th homer of the season.
Just missed that one a little bit out in front. And of course, the one time the wind decides to blow in. Usually Borleske has the right to left wind tunnel, but now the flag's pointing at us. I don't think we ever see that during the summer.
Yeah, not usually. It's usually pretty consistent. I think the right-handed hitters here in Walla Walla have definitely taken a liking to it, as Haason's going to chop it back over to Severns. He'll take the out at second for out number 3, and that will do it here in the 5th. A single from Royce Hale, but that will be all the sweets get going as we move along into 6th. Cody, thank you for joining me in the booth. It's been a pleasure. Do you want to come back for the 6th?
It's totally up to you. Do you want me for another half inning?
I think that'd be great. These ones have gone by a little bit too quick, as Alex Cohen will come out for another inning of work. We'll be back at the top of 6.
Washington homeowners are saving thousands of dollars on their energy bill by upgrading their home. And the best part is, CNGC is giving back even more money when you switch to a more efficient alternative. So you can enjoy increased property value, a higher quality of life with better appliances, and greater comfort for your family. Scan this QR code or go to cngc.com and save money on your energy bill.
I love coming in here. Everybody is always super welcoming. They always greet me by name. You can tell that everyone here actually likes working here.
My favorite thing about Walla Walla orthodontics is how nice the staff are. They're funny, fun, and they're helpful.
I had what was called 3D braces. They were the same color as my teeth. People would say, "Oh, you have braces?" They didn't even know that I had braces. I highly recommend this orthodontist office.
Top of the 6th inning, Walla Walla still trailing Corvallis 9-3 here in Game 1 of this West Coast League Divisional Semifinal. As we're back with General Manager Cody Miller taking a look around the West Coast League at the other matchups going on. Wenatchee leading Kelowna 4-0, still shutting out the Falcons up in BC. Hard hit ground ball over towards Bittner, fields it clean. The throw nice in time for out number 1. Bellingham and Nanaimo evened up 1-1, and Raptors and the Pickles have gotten started. Ridgefield leading 3-1. And I mean, really interesting matchups really across things, as again the Raptors, as the first half champs, did have a slower start in the second half and did have a good late surge versus Corvallis to end the regular season. And again, we just faced off against the Pickles recently. Both teams are definitely a force to be reckoned with on the other side of the South Division. Hard ground ball snatched by the back knee of Cohen as he sends it along to the first. And
I think that's 2 pitches, 2 outs.
Yeah, we are.
We're cruising.
Yeah.
Well,
is that Wood?
I believe so. I should know better. I should know much better.
As Alex Cohen out for another inning, and through 2/3 to close up the second inning, then has pitched 3 innings since then, just allowing 2 runs on accordance of his own. Pitch missing just outside. Again, Alex Cohen has been a great arm out of the bullpen, and again talked a lot about the Cohen brothers, and I know I tried to push that Andrew and Alex most pitching wins in West Coast League history by a brother duo on you, but it really has been incredible to see them both compete. Obviously, Andrew no longer on the roster, but his older brother Alex still competing. It's been one of the top guys out of the bullpen all summer.
Well, no, Alex has done a great job, and just the pitching depth that the Sweets us have been able to have has been really cool to watch. And our pitching coach Corey Keir has done a great job, and it's written up in the clubhouse, I believe since, I wouldn't say day 1, but I think after the first series, he's got that phrase up there, "We are the Bulls." I don't think anyone fully knows what that means, but it's more so, it's about, what we said about Leo, it's competing. But it's just, he's done a great job with this staff, and as we've, brought guys in and guys have left, it's kind of like what Leo's been doing. It's the same message no matter who's coming in. So he's done a great job there, and I think that's really helped, propel this season, not only offensively, but really good from the pitching staff as well.
I will say that I have talked to Corey quite a bit, and I have got a general grasp of the meaning of "We Are the Bulls," and he emphasizes the story of Bushwhacker, the famous bull, a lot. If you don't know Bushwhacker, another ground ball is going to head over to Bittner, and all you fans at home will have to wait for the intriguing story of Bushwhacker as Alex Cohen generates a clean inning, 3 groundouts back to back to back. That sends us on to the bottom half of the second. Sweet still looking to chip away.
My experience at West Coast League was fun. It was a big difference going from California over there to Walla Walla, Washington. And the crowds were actually really good for such a small town. They really showed up for us, and everybody was very welcoming. It was an awesome experience.
How much does speed play a factor in your game here?
Oh, it's a huge factor. Ball in the gap or just even a C&I single. If you get out of the box good, you can even try and stretch to a double sometimes.
Durant hits that hard into the gap. Here goes Durant. He's blazing around second. Into third. It's a 2-run triple. Jaron Durant, a triple to the gap in right center.
For me, that summer was about embracing new teammates and embracing new challenges, because you're seeing different types of pitchers and really fast-paced, a lot of bunting, some new positions, new skills. Kind of helps with leadership and getting to know guys, and it was a good development for me in a lot more aspects than I expected. That was some of the best coaching staff that I've had. Back then I was a second baseman. I thought If I just played really good second base, I'd be able to stay there, but they better use me in the outfield, which is awesome. You know, I'm loving it now.
On the defensive side, you've been making some pretty good plays. You've been playing really all over the field now.
Hit coming on Duran, diving ahead, he's got it. What can he do at this point? Wow, changing the game both offensively and defensively, that's huge.
JD's one of my best friends in the organization. He's just such a hard worker. He's super intense on the field, but he's completely different off of it. He's really laid back, relaxed, loves to have fun, brings such a good rapport and demeanor to the clubhouse. There's so many great things to say about him and the way that he goes about his business.
Back in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Knights will turn it over to a new arm as Arlo Pendleton, the Cal Poly right-hander, will jump out after a solid start. Got through 5 innings, allowing just 2 earned runs and allowing 1 walk. And we'll see the Knights turn it over to Cooper Markham, the Oregon Duck, who's been another top arm out of the bullpen. 1.59 ERA across 17 innings, 29 strikeouts in that time across 11 appearances. He's been a tough guy to get hits against, Cody.
I would say that's pretty good stats, but again, we talked about the depth of, you know, our pitching staff and everything, but you expect that out of Corvallis. They, you know, Brooks done this for almost 20 years. He has so many connections, and you know, it's a testament to what he's been able to do for those 20 years and building up those relationships that are so important in baseball. And you know, you see guys come through. You see the guys come through every year, and you know, about 2 or 3 years later, you hear him on MLB draft day. So it's not a surprise to see a guy like Markham come in with those stats.
Well, we were talking a little bit more about the Sweets pitching staff before the quick top of the 6th ended, in talking about the We Are the Bulls mentality created by pitching coach Corey Kieran. Again, really the main thing about that mentality is just trying to always adapt. As you know, in this day and age, in bull riding, a lot of bull riders will try and analyze the bulls, in this case the pitchers. Bull riders always trying to figure out the best way to attack a bull, trying to figure out the best way to beat them, and the bulls always got to stay unpredictable. They got to be able to grit out some of these matchups, and he's really referenced that to his pitchers and always talks about Bushwhacker. And again, sometimes you just nod and listen, but has done a remarkable job with the pitching staff. Of course, the hitting staff for the Sweets has been still influenced a little bit by Corey, but also seeing the touch of skipper Leo Rivera and the hitting coach and Brandon Cabrera, fresh out of Gonzaga, and have all kind of had their hands all over this team. And again, a young coaching staff. And I was curious, do you think that's kind of played a part in helping this team move forward as well, having, you know, 3 coaches under the age of 27? As Buckley goes out to center, it will be hung up to Max Medina for out number 1.
To go back to your Bulls message, there is a method to the madness. So, you know, the message, while it may not be fully understood, I think there is a method there, and I think we've seen it. So, but to go back to the coaching staff, it's a great mixture of, we talked about Leo and everything he brings to the table. You know, played in this league, you know, played at D3, played at LC State, and then was a, you know, volley coach. He was an assistant coach for 2 years. Now he's the head coach, and obviously with his role at Seattle U2. So you have all that experience. Then you bring in a guy like Corey, you know, 20 plus years in baseball, if not more, and just all of the things he's been able to experience. You know, a guy that can bring that to a summer ball team, and you know, these young men that are trying to improve their game to one day make it to the show. The depth of knowledge that he has. Then you got a guy like Brandon Cabrera, who you mentioned, our hitting coach, and he just got done playing ball 3 months ago, and frankly, still looks like he could go out there and play if needed. Yep. So he's not removed from it as much as Leo is, and much less Corey is. So that mixture, it's like you have, these guys have 3 different guys to go to and talk to about maybe an experience, or maybe like, you know, hey, when you were doing this, what did you think? Or when you were in this situation, I think that's really been key, because you've got the long tenure, you've got the manager that's seen it all, done it all, and then you've got, you know, a young guy like Brandon who's looking to, you know, break into this industry as well, that can say, yep, I know exactly what you're going through. I just did it 3 months ago. So I think that just helps out so much at this level with summer ball, where these guys are coming in and they're just trying to get better. So,
and drop third, we'll see the pump fake out of Dakota Chun, as it was a breaking ball into the dirt that got a big swing and a miss out of Jalen Kennedy. Kicked off the chest of Chun all the way towards his own dugout, and saw him kind of pumping while looking out to first. It looked like he had JK beat, then takes it away, as we'll see Brooke Knight head out to talk to the first base umpire in JT Rentschler, and did see slightly after the play Kennedy was stepping back to the bag, saw a tag applied by the first baseman in Russell, maybe trying to argue softly that there could have been an outbound there, but regardless, will be a quick conversation as he heads back to the dugout and Schofield steps in. And also, we have to talk about Henry Carson, assistant coach and clubhouse manager, who just won a high school state title as a head coach with Kings, and I think he's been a big part of kind of holding this team together as well, being a big interpersonal relationship guy. Seen him have a lot of one-on-one talks with players and really help communicate with them, as Schofield's going to lay down a bunt straight back to Markham. Will just take the easy out over at first, and that'll be the second out as a runner moves into scoring position.
No, obviously Henry, like you said, just got done coaching a high school championship, so everything that he's able to bring from that perspective as well, it's a great group of coaches and players that we have this year. So, Henry's been running our camps, so he's been able to work with the guys and everything too. And like you said, clubby equipment guy, he's trying to make it in this industry too. So, it's been a great group all year, and they're a big reason, like I said, why we are in the position we are back in the West Coast League playoffs for the first time in 7 years. So, just can't say enough about what they did this year.
Yeah, I think Henry bringing on another little bit of help has kind of really the rest of the suites welcoming Maddox the Bat Boy. I do have to give him a shout out. Kind of been the bat and ball boy all season long for the suites, and actually had him join the team in Salem earlier this week, and that was incredible to see him coming along for the road trip. Don't see a lot of traveling bat boys come along, but I think that was just him and his family wanting to join and support the suites, and yeah, I think he's been a great bit of atmosphere to have in the dugout.
No, he's that's, like I said, that's just part of like the whole part of the team deal. Like someone like Maddox as the bat kid, he's in and around with the team. Now we do switch out the bat boys throughout the year a lot, but I think he was one of the first ones that did this year, and they just really appreciate his hustle. The guys liked him in the dugout and everything. So, just one of those things that develop over the summer. So just really cool to see. And he threw out the first onions tonight.
He did in the first West Coast League playoff match hosted here in Walla Walla since 2019, and
It was against these Corvallis Knights back then, too.
Yeah, the Sweets in their 3 previous appearances have matched up against the Knights in 2 out of those 3 times, have yet to be able to take down the Knights. I believe the only other time was the Wenatchee Apple Sox. I believe that might have been 2013.
You'd be correct, yeah.
Is when that happened, but Sweets trying to overcome that hump this season, and of course trying to find a comeback win here in game number 1, because of course tomorrow going to head to Corvallis, and it's not going to be easy one bit taking up against the Knights in their home on their home turf.
It's not easy at Goss Stadium. It's a great environment for college baseball, obviously home with the Oregon State Beavers. So no, they're formidable at home, and like we said, their record and their what they've been able to do, it speaks for themselves.
Pitch misses inside to Bittner as he'll walk on the payoff pitch, and Kyler Bittner being one of the later pickups, and I know I myself have had to kind of say that line a lot this season as we've talked a little bit about the amount of players that are changed in and out throughout this season, and what's it kind of taken for this team and the coaching staff to be able to keep putting together a roster, putting together 9 players that they can put on the field to help keep getting victories?
Well, and I think that just speaks to what summer baseball has changed or become in the last 3, 4, 5 years. I was actually talking with Brooke Knight before the game just about how much it's changed in such a short amount of time, and he said we would have X amount of guys that came through, and other than maybe 1 or 2, like those were our guys. And it was the same for most of the league. It was 35, 40 some guys, but with the portal and the eligibility changes and all those things, NIL, it's just so much different. And guys are transferring, or they there's innings limits with pitching and all that stuff with these programs, so you really have to adjust on the fly. So, and then you have I would say almost sometimes your first half guys, your June
and then your late like July guys for your second half. And Leo's done a heck of a job, being able to prepare for that, to be able to have guys to be able to come in this late in the game, to be able to be in a position in the West Coast League playoffs.
As we do see Cooper Markham pick up the strikeout versus Sam Kane. He gets 2 Ks in the top of the 6th, and that brings us along into the 7th. It's been a pleasure having you, Cody, general manager, alongside me in the broadcast booth. Swedes still trail 3-9, looking to chip away late versus the Corvallis Knights.
Whatever your printing needs, Abbott's Printing does it all. Signs and banners, rich, full-colored, high-quality commercial and digital printing, direct mailings, full-color business cards, and postcards. If you want a printing job done right, then Abbott's Printing is the place to be. Abbott's Printing provides award-winning quality and outstanding customer service. Visit abbottsprinting.com to view their selection or call 453-8202. That's 453-8202. Abbott's Printing, where the excellence is on paper.
Holiday Inn Express Walla Walla is proud to be the official hotel of the Walla Walla Suite. Our guests are sure.
Hey, your homework done?
Yep.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
So Alex Cohen's time will end as we move into the top of the 7th here in Walla Walla, Washington. Saw a great outing out of the bullpen for Alex Cohen. 4 innings and 2/3, nearly 5 out of the pen, having to try and stave off the Knights to the best of his ability, giving up 4 runs, striking out 4 in just 50 pitches. And now he'll turn it over to the Lower Columbia arm of Hayden Line, who steps in to take over, as the Swedes still looking to shut down this offense of the Corvallis Knights, who have been able to put up 9 runs. Again, did go a little bit colder throughout. Again, 1 run in the first, 6 runs in the second, none in the third and fourth, 2 in the fifth, and then none last inning, as we'll be looking to, of course, turn that around with Dakota Chun, the lefty swinging catcher, leading off versus Line. Takes ball 1 down low. Again, had ourselves a great conversation with Swedes general manager Cody Miller. Pleasure having him in the booth and being able to take up some of his time on a busy night like this here in Borleske Stadium, as pitch will miss upstairs. In Line making his 8th appearance of the summer. Has thrown just about 10 innings as the count moves to 2-1. In those 10 innings has a sub-1 ERA, 0.93, spots the outside corner, and the count evens up 2-2. As has had a couple issues with his control in terms of giving free bases, but has done a great job at limiting the damage regardless. Fouled straight back, count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. As we move into the 7th, looking across the West Coast League in the other South Divisional semifinal matchup, Ridgefield and Portland are now in the 3rd. The Raptors leading the Pickles 3-2. So the first half champs, the Raptors up early. Ground ball is going to send over to Bittner, rolling cleanly on the dirt. He spins it over to Buckley for out number 1. And then, of course, up in the north, you have the Wenatchee Apple Sox, who have started the postseason like they completed the regular season. They're up 7-0 over the Kelowna Falcons as they are cruising up at Elk Stadium. And then out in Nanaimo, British Columbia, the Night Owls and the Bellingham Bells are in the bottom of the 7th, knotted up 1-1. And what a battle it's been between the 2 and the 3 seed up in the North Division. And the Bells, the second half champs, and Nanaimo finishing 3rd. It was a very narrow finish in the West Coast League North Division. It was in time called by Jalen Kennedy. Again, saw Edmonton, the Riverhawks, just miss out on a spot, as well as Victoria's. Both those teams ended their season tough with some losses. Harbor Cats, the West Coast League All-Star host, lost 4 in a row to miss out on a spot. The Riverhawks dropped their last 2 to miss out on a spot. And again, Kelowna and Nanaimo finished strong. The Falcons with a 5-game winning streak to close out the second half and end up earning themselves a 4 seed. As do have to face up against the Apple Sox, and that is not going to be easy for anyone to face off against, as the Apple Sox have stayed one of the most consistent and dangerous teams across the WCL this summer. 1-0 pitch on the way from line to the inside corner at 89 to pick up a strike versus Severns. As Severns currently 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the 5th inning. And being his 1 knock today, facing up against the new right-hander of Line. He's going to send it out hard towards center field. Sam Kane just takes a couple steps in, secures it for out number 2. As Line moving steady early on. Again, these two teams clashing, as mentioned, between myself and GM Cody Miller. These two teams have clashed twice previously in the postseason. And Sweets made it to the WCL playoffs 3 times. 2 out of those times met up and lost versus Corvallis. Sweets' 2nd season in the league back in 2011, lost in the West Coast League Championship to the Corvallis Knights, was the Sweets 1 time in the title match. Then in 2013, made it to the South Divisional Championship, fell to the Apple Sox. Then most recently in 2019, back into the Divisional Championship and fell to the Knights. And meanwhile, Corvallis making the WCL postseason for the 19th consecutive season. And of course, over the past 18 seasons have been to the West Coast League Championship 14 times and won it 10 times. And that, of course, does mean that the Corvallis Knights have won over half of the West Coast League seasons to ever occur. And that's just showing why they are the most winningest franchise in league history. 2-1 pitch is going to get grounded hard past Kyler Bittner out into right field. Stinson will cut around it and keep it in front as Zane Garvey picks up a 2-out knock to keep the top of the 7th moving. That's his first hit of the evening. 97 off. That was just a fastball from Line. That was just left a little bit too much towards the middle part of the zone. Of course, had the long streak for the Knights, a 7-year consecutive WCL championship streak between 2016 and 2013, capturing 7 consecutive titles in that time. But despite all the success, the Knights have not made it to the West Coast League Championship game in the last 2 summers, and that is quite literally the longest time in history the Knights have not appeared in a title game. Of course, are looking to change that this season and are on pace currently to take game 1 versus the Sweets, as Walla Walla going to have 9 outs to spare to try and cut this lead away as Line gets a big swing and a miss out of Morosco. The Knights, they're able to advance. We'll face the winner of Ridgefield and Portland, and then whoever is able to come out of the north in the title game. Line kicks and fires the 0-2 in towards the knees, just missing low at 88. And a good miss for Hayden Line, as we have seen that pitch called a strike despite being a little bit under the zone. Line fires the 1-2 breaking ball, stays high. And another narrow miss on both ends of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And Knights leading 9-3, able to throw up a pair of runs back in the 5th inning. Line fires, another off speed, just fouled into the netting again. And that incredible history for the Corvallis Knights has, of course, been led by Brooke Knight, this being Brooke's 18th season as the Corvallis skipper, 8-time WCL Coach of the Year, has a 71% all-time win percentage. And Brooke's all-time record, 791, 330. So 791 wins, 330 losses. And just absolutely incredible to think that he's won 71% of the games he's had in an 18-year career. Payoff pitch on the way from line, towering pop-up behind the plate as it's going to just run out of room for Kennedy. No, it's going to be in front of the net, but he drops it, and the count will remain full, as it was right in front of the netting, just escaped from Kennedy, as maybe a good chunk of spin behind that ball as it popped right out of the catcher's mitt. So we'll see Garvey return to first, Morosco returning into the batter's box. So the count remains full with 2 down. What looked to have surely been out number 3 for the Swedes will be a strikeout either way, as Morosco knew it as soon as it came across the plate. And Hayden Line picks up his first strikeout of the postseason to shut things down in the top of the 7th, and that brings about the 7th inning stretch here in Borleske Stadium. Walla Walla still trailing by 6, looking to chip away at the Knights.
As a reminder that this is the last office service at the Beer Garden, Rancho Slaughterhouse.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Bottom of the 7th here in Walla Walla. The Swedes trailing the number 2 seeded Corvallis Knights 3-9, and trying to find a way to chip away at the new arm of Cooper Markham. And didn't have a ton of time to talk about Cooper while we had General Manager Cody Miller on the air, but Markham, and just finished up his freshman year at the University of Oregon with the Ducks, was a two-way guy with the Ducks, stands at 6'3", about 230 pounds, native of Enumclaw, Washington. And he's definitely the definition of a fireballer, as Reeser sends it foul out towards slugger concessions and over top of it into Martin Field, just beyond the first base side. Markham graduated out of Enumclaw High School back in 2025 as the number 3 ranked right-handed pitcher in all of Washington. Came into the University of Oregon, made 9 appearances as a true freshman with a 4.7 ERA out of the bullpen. And then has just been a lethal arm for Corvallis this summer in the West Coast League. Again, if you missed it, 11 appearances, 17 innings pitched, 1.59 ERA, 29 strikeouts in 17 innings. As Gage Reacher is going to send one up the middle off his hands out to Morosco, the shortstop, who gets it over to first in time. As that brings up the designated hitter in Royce Hale. And the Swedes trying to battle back in this game versus a team they have, of course, struggled to have success against in the past. The Swedes did win the season series versus the Knights this summer for the first time since 2018. Won the season series versus Corvallis and do trail the all-time record versus the Knights 29-60. And are really looking to turn the tides in this postseason matchup. But the Knights, again, one of the best in all of West Coast League for a reason, and one of the best historically for a reason, especially just a second half and postseason team as Hale takes the changeup on the outside corner. Corvallis in these West Coast League Divisional Series, these divisional semifinals, the Knights have just won a staggering amount of them. And really the only times they've been knocked out prior to the WCL Championship was 2010 and 2015, losing to Bend. As the Elks have proved to be kryptonites in early to mid 2010s. Fastball lifted to shallow right center. It's going to hang up on the cut of the grass to Cruz. And Diego hauls it in for the second out. And again, Markham looking steady here. And the 6'3" right-hander. The fastball is probably his most dangerous weapon, as it's going to sit around the mid-90s and is able to control it really well, and then being able to have that change up in the arsenal as well is really all he needs to set down a ton of hitters. So up steps Bo Stinson, who's 0 for 3 today. Stinson, line out, a ground out, and a deep fly out to left field his last time up that just fell short on the left field warning track. Ethan Porter, the Knights left fielder who hauled it in, are seeing the center fielder Max Medina shading out towards right center, as Stinson has kind of done well hitting to all parts of the ballpark this summer. Has seen him have a lot of hard line drives to the right field side, but all of his homers have been pulled to the left side, and Max Medina, the Corvallis center fielder, is playing in right center field currently. So big hole out there in left center field for Bo Stinson. He's got a good bit of speed, but it's going to be tough to put a bat on the ball at 95 miles an hour, as and that pitch came in middle low. And even if it's middle of the zone, and it's still so tough to be able to see that pitch coming, and at 95, tough to get the barrel caught up to it. 2-1 delivery, going to be fouled away, up and back out of play towards section B along the first base side. Sweet still just trying to turn it around, and getting the offense activated is going to be the big things. Had a run in the second, third, and fourth innings to be able to get those 3 total, but have gone scoreless through the last 2 and are in danger of going scoreless for a 3rd inning in a row. Meanwhile, Knights have been able to add on 2 that were back in the 5th. 2-2 delivery to Stinson, breaking ball fought off and just grounded over towards the Knights bullpen, and keeping pitcher down there on his toes. And that breaking ball cruising to the zone at 82. Up and in, and then just having really the 12 to 14 mile an hour difference between that Breaking ball and the heater as he turns back to the fastball. Stinson just gets a piece of the lumber on it. So count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here in Walla Walla, the Sweets still trying to get that hitting activated more. Currently batting 3 for 10 with 2 outs, and Stinson looking to keep the inning alive. Can't do so. Breaking ball gets by him, up and in, and another strikeout is tallied by Markham. That's his 3rd strikeout of the appearance. Sends us along into the 8th. The Knights still well in charge, 9-3.
I was scheduled to go to the West Coast League out of high school, and then the draft happened, so there was a slow process deciding whether to sign or not, and then eventually I didn't. My whole senior year, I was like, oh yeah, summer will be cool. I was nervous for it, but I was also very excited. The group of guys that we had there was special. You know, I was jumping into a new group of kind of older guys. Most of them were a year or 2 older than me. It was really good for me being like a younger player. They kind of showed me the ropes of what college baseball and summer ball was about, and really helped me through that whole process.
First pitch, McLean, deep center!
I think hitting with bats every day was different. Playing every day that consistent was different for me. Coming from high school, the competition was good. It was a good introduction to Pac-12 baseball. You got guys throwing every day who are top of the rotation guys in college, Friday night guys, Saturday night guys, and get to face that as a senior going into a freshman year was really an advantage for me because it really made me get better and realize I need to get better quick. But it was a lot of fun. You know, everyone in Bellingham welcomed me with open arms, and it was a great first summer ball experience. I couldn't ask for anything more. My host family was so awesome. I mean, the Ayers, I still talk with them like weekly, maybe once every 2 weeks. To form that connection, that relationship that I still have with them and other teammates, I'll remember those for the rest of my life. Bellingham fans, thank you guys for always supporting me. I really appreciate it. You guys made it special for me.
Kellen Siegel will lead things off on the top of the 8th for Corvallis here in West Coast League game of the weekend. Of course, first game, West Coast League Divisional Series here in Walla Walla between the 2-seeded Corvallis Knights and the 3-seeded Sweets, as Hayden Lyon back up for another inning of work. Starts a breaking ball to the designated hitter for a strike. Siegel 1 for 2 with an RBI single on the day. Started things off by laying down a sac bunt all the way in the 2nd. Struck out looking in the 3rd, then had the RBI single in the 5th before being gunned out at home by Sam Kane while trying to score from 2nd to home on a single. Now 1-1 versus the Lower Columbia righty. Swings away over top of it. As both these guys competing in the Northwest Athletic Conference, playing some junior college ball this past spring. Siegel with Lynn Community College and in line with Lower Columbia College in Longview, Washington. Pop up shallow into right field. Bo Stinson running in. It's going to be the second baseman in Bittner who makes the catch in foul territory and able to create room, takes control, makes the grab. So the lineup card will flip to the MAC Freshman of the Year and Diego Cruz. And Cruz stands at 5'9", 180 pounds, as committed to play with the Oregon State Beavers in the spring of 2027. And looking to use the speed, the consistency, the quick hands, and apply them to a historic program like the Oregon State Beavers. Currently batting 2 for 4 tonight, knocking in a pair of singles and a pair of runs. Count moves to 2-0. And Hayden Lyon, making his 8th appearance of the season, had a great true freshman year with the Red Devils of Lower Columbia. 3.47 ERA in 11 appearances. Spun 23 innings with 20 strikeouts, and Did allow a good chunk of walks in that time, 15 walks in 23 innings, but it was his ability to shut down hitters. Batting average was the key to his success. And batters in the NWAC only hit 182 against the line this past spring. 2-1 delivery on its way. Is going to get lined down to left center field. That ball is going to get down. Ronan Schofield cutting it off quick. Will make the throw in, and Cruz is heading for second. The relay in is in time. And Cruz, they're going to say he beats it out, and skipper Leo Rivera will immediately come out to contest it, as that was the third base umpire Clayton Kellogg making the call. And I believe he's saying that Diego Cruz swam around it as it was quickly relayed in from Schofield to Reeser to Bittner, who applied the tag. And manager Leo Rivera is currently having a word with Clayton Kellogg, and today's third base umpire was the umpire last series between the Sweets and the Berries, and after a quick deliberation, it doesn't look like there'll be any extra conversation or anything after that. It will be deemed a double for Diego Cruz as he just legs it out. We talked about his speed, and there you can see it being put on full display. So 1-out double to put a 10th run in scoring position. This ball is going to get behind Jalen Kennedy. Cruz moves up to third, and Corvallis Knights just 90 feet away from reaching double digits in this postseason matchup. Hayden Lyon trying to work through a dangerous part of the order. Of course, the all-star and two-hitter in Max Medina, who takes ball 2 outside. And you have the three-hitter and Oregon State Beaver and Ethan Porter waiting on deck. Medina was one of the 2 Corvallis Knights All-Stars this summer. And just having the 2 All-Stars, Max Medina was the only position player for the Knights that was an All-Star, and then also having Morgan Codron, the Portland pitcher, and the University of Portland pitcher at that. So 1 position player, 1 pitcher on the All-Star team for the Knights. Pitch on the way from line. Cruises in at the knees, or get me over fastball at 86. Again, the sky has, of course, darkened here around Borleske Stadium. Lights shining down well onto the grass and dirt. And can't really see the smoke now. Can still feel it a little bit. 3-1 pitch misses up and away, and it's going to be a 5-pitch walk to put Medina on first. And that brings in Porter. And Ethan Porter, just a big guy standing in the box, 6'2", 210 pounds. And we'll see skipper Leo Rivera come out, and it looks like that will be it for Hayden Lyon as he gets through an inning and a third, and with runners on the corners and 1 out, it will bring about a new arm for the Sweets as again Lyon will exit. And it looks like that is Blake Moore, the big lefty, who's going to come in for the Sweets. So we'll let him get warmed up and see if he can get the Sweets out of the situation. Again, runners on first and third, 1 down. Knights lead 9-3 here in Borleske Stadium.
Walla Walla Valley Honda is now Underwriter Honda of Walla Walla. The same great automotive family is here for all your needs. Service, parts, new Hondas, and top quality used vehicles, all backed by expert staff with the highest standards in the industry. After all, you're family at Underwriter Honda of Walla Walla and deserve the best. Visit us at underwriterhondaofwallawalla.com to schedule service or a test drive today. Underwriter Honda of Walla Walla. Walk in as a guest, drive off as family.
Washington homeowners are saving thousands of dollars on their energy bill by upgrading their home. And the best part is, CNGC is giving back even more money when you switch to a more efficient alternative. So you can enjoy increased property value, a higher quality of life with better appliances, and greater comfort for your family. Scan this QR code or go to cngc.com and save money on your energy bill.
I love coming in here. Everybody is always super welcoming. They always greet me by name. You can tell that everyone here actually likes working here.
My favorite thing about Walla Walla orthodontics is how nice the staff are. They're funny, fun, and they're helpful.
I had what was called 3D braces. They were the same color as my teeth. People would say, "Oh, you have braces?" They didn't even know that I had braces. I highly recommend this orthodontist office.
So Blake Moore, the 6'6" lefty out of the College of William & Mary, takes over on the bump for the Sweets. Again, put in with runners on the corners, immediately picks off over to first. Buckley will fake the throw and will be able to catch Cruz in a rundown play to the plate. Tag applied by Kennedy, and the Sweets able to take care of business defensively as Moore doesn't even have to throw a pitch to get it out. Picked off over to first, got Medina running. Buckley faked the throw down to second, caught Diego Cruz off of third, and was able to get the throw down, and Kennedy applying the tag nice and easy for out number 2. And efficiency is Blake Moore, 0 pitches, 1 out. And now looking back towards Max Medina off of second base. Kicks and fires, missing way outside. Kennedy bouncing out behind the left-hand batter's box to keep it in front. And Blake Moore, a native of California City in California, making his 11th appearance of the season, and a good swing and miss guy. Has struggled to limit base runners at time through walks, but when he's able to get the fastball working, get it consistently in the zone, been a really dangerous arm for the Sweets to have. 18 strikeouts in 15 innings. Kicks and fires, gets a big swing and a miss out of the Oregon State outfielder, and Ethan Porter with a great true freshman season for the Beavers. Native of Huntington Beach, California, stands at 6'2", 210 pounds, and batted nearly 300 for the Beavers as a true freshman. 8 doubles, 2 homers, 9 runs batted in. On-base percentage of .480 and 23 starts as a true freshman. Had some great games in May, had an 11-game hit streak as a true freshman. Did have a home run versus Cal State Northridge, which a couple of those guys on this Sweets team. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Moore checking on Medina towards the plate at Porter, misses up and away as the count goes full. Moore does sport a 4-pitch mix, has the fastball, a slurve, a slider, and a splitter. A slurry of pitches. Payoff pitch to Porter, misses inside and got the elbow guard of Porter. That's the second time he's been hit today. And he gets on base for the 4th time. 2 hit by pitches and 2 singles. As not as efficient versus the first batter, as 2 runners on and 2 outs as the cleanup man, Maverick Russell, steps in. We'll see pitch on the way, and it looks like it will be deemed a balk on Blake Moore, and that will advance the runners. And manager Leo Rivera immediately coming out of the dugout to talk to Jacob Fisher. not happy about the way that balk was called among the umpires. But regardless, the runners will move up. So Medina's on third, Porter's on second, and a single could bring about some more runs, more kicks and fires. Spots the outside corner well in the lefty-lefty matchup versus Russell. And Russell spent this past spring with the Bruins at UCLA, didn't play, and will go in as a redshirt freshman at UC Santa Barbara. Flies one out to left field. Ronan Schofield trailing to his right. Long run. It's going to drop in towards the foul line as we'll see both runs score. Trying to move up to second is Russell, but the throw will be in time as he's cut down going for two, but not before both runs come in for Corvallis. The Knights extend the lead 11-3 as the defense being able to work well for the Swedes, but Corvallis still able to add on a pair. They now lead by 8. It's 11-3 moving into the bottom of the 8th.
It's wild. I mean, it's crazy. It's still hard to believe that I have that ring. I'm not sure exactly how it came about, but I had the opportunity to go up and play in Kelowna. I was really fortunate. We had a really good group of guys up there, and it's a beautiful place. I mean, we really appreciate everybody who came out and watched us play and supported us, and made that summer really special for all of us out there. It's just an awesome city you guys live in. It was an absolute blast. Playing in the West Coast League, it was a very different experience for me. I really hadn't been away from home that long. It was my first college summer league team. Most guys leave and they really are focused on the innings and getting more work in, developing a pitch. For me, it was just kind of having an opportunity to face some different hitters, and it was definitely more of a step into a professional style of play. You're playing a lot more. It's just not weekend sets. I got to put a lot of innings in my mind. I was out of the bullpen a little bit, so that was new to me. It was just a really good opportunity for me to refine all my stuff going into my sophomore year. Out of high school, I thought I was going to be a position player. If you would have told me, 10 years later, I would be, pitching and being at this stage, I would have been a little surprised. I was very fortunate to get drafted. I ended up here in Houston. It's been an awesome ride here the last 3 years. It's still hard to believe that I have that ring. It's wild. I mean, it's crazy. The things that happened during those games last year are just unforgettable.
The thing about Phil is that, he's the same every day. I mean, you can't tell if he's going good or if he's going bad. That's what makes him a quality reliever. And the fact that, his highs aren't that high and his lows aren't that low. Enjoy Phil. I think I bought him some corn one day, and I wanted to know his opinion because from where he's from, he's a corn expert.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Jack Galanita will step in on the bump for Corvallis. The George Fox right-hander out of Lake Balboa, California. Just finished up his junior year with GFU. Now steps in a versus the Swedes in this spot. Has an 8-run deficit behind him to work through. And the Swedes are looking to somehow keep chipping away at it. You saw in the top half of the inning, the Knights were able to put up 2 more runs, and in both runs that came in, got on through a walk and a hit by pitch, as the Knights have been able to keep taking advantage. Gaines Hawson goes out to right field, is going to drop down by the foul line. Gaines Hawson will take a slow round over. First throw is quickly in from Garvey, and it will be a leadoff single for the Swedes' third baseman. Not wasting any time, any swings in that at-bat. And will quickly bring up Buckley. So Galanita looks back in versus Buck, the South African native. Will be going into his final year of eligibility at Central Washington. Takes a strike one on a breaking ball from Galanita. And the right-hander stands at 6'3", 180 pounds, making his 21st appearance of the season for Corvallis, as he has been such a consistent arm out of the bullpen. Pop up onto the first base side towards the Corvallis dugout, back and out of play as it skips up the off the asphalt and into the stands. Will be a souvenir for one lucky fan here in Walla Walla. Galanita, 20 previous appearances, a 4-0 record across 37 innings, sporting a 27 strikeouts and a 4.10 ERA. just has done a steady job at minimizing free passes and trying to keep batters to a lower average. Does get up 0-2 versus Buckley. Kicks and fires. Going to be flared out towards right field. Garvey just taking a couple steps into his left will secure the catch. And the Swedes have been able to put up a good chunk of hits. Walla Walla have 8 hits for just 3 runs. And on the other side, Corvallis have 13 hits for their 11 runs. I'm just seeing some good situational hitting from Corvallis. The Knights are batting 6 for 10 with 2 outs, are batting 9 for 14 with runners on base. And listen, to batting 8 for 11 with runners in scoring position. And those are just elite numbers, and always tough to get that situational hitting going. Being able to clutch up and find hits with runners on, runners in scoring position, and Corvallis have just done an impeccable job tonight in game 1 of this divisional series. Galanita fires the fastball upstairs versus Kennedy, cruising in at 85. Kennedy 2 for 3 today. Has a pair of singles and a strikeout where he did get on through a drop third strike, as we'll see a quick meeting on the mound. As we'll just see a quick chat with Galanita, as again the pitching staff from Corvallis have just been rolling steadily on so far. Arlo Pendleton, the starter, went through 5 innings, allowed just 2 earned runs. And then saw Cooper Markham go 2 innings clean, allowing just 1 hit, 1 walk, no runs, striking out 3. And now Galanita taking over on the bump will hit Jalen Kennedy, and JK gets aboard for the 3rd time tonight. Now to put runners on first and second with 1 down, as free pass administered by Galanita. And it looks like we'll see a pinch hitter step in for Ronan Schofield, and that is Logan Nakamura, who will come in for it. So we'll have to see how the field switches up for the Swedes, as again Ronan Schofield playing in left field. We'll see if Nakamura goes in clean for Schofield in left. The Portland Pilot has not played left field this season. Would not expect that to be the case, but you never know. Especially in this stage in the season, anything can happen, as Knock takes ball 1. Logan Nakamura was the leadoff hitter in games 1 and 2 versus the Marion Berries, that being Monday and Tuesday night versus the Berries. And now he's going to send one out towards center field. Medina tracking to his left. Hawson tagging up. He'll fake the advance, and will just be a quick out versus Nakamura. So the pinch hitter retired steadily for the 2nd out. Nakamura batted 1 for 7 with an RBI triple and a walk as the leadoff man last series. So the lineup card flips back to the 1 hitter in Kyler Bittner, who has been one of the best offensive players for either side in this series opener. Bittner is currently batting 3 for 3, a pair of singles, a home run, and 2 ribbies, as he'll take strike 1. As that off-speed pitch looked borderline to the outside corner, maybe missing by about half a ball. Instead, it will be strike 1. Galanita fires another breaking ball. This one still in for a strike. As the home fans here in Borleske Stadium, again, not happy. Count moves 0-2. Bittner trying to get on base another time for the Sweets and keep the 8th inning moving. 0-2 delivery from Galanita, skipped way into the dirt. Chun can't keep it in front. The runners will advance on the wild pitch. So Hosson stands on third, Kennedy stands on second, and 2 runners are in scoring position for Bittner. That pitch will miss as Galanita trying to get through his first inning clean for the Knights. Again, Corvallis do have a big lead to be able to work through, and just need 4 more outs to close out this game as Bittner is going to send it out towards left center field. It's going to be a long run for Medina, diving. It kicks off of his glove into left field. Both runs will score, and Kyler Bittner continues to have himself a day as he has knocked in 4 of the 5 runs for Walla Walla. Will be deemed a single, so Bittner is now 4 for 4 with 4 RBI as he has just been unstoppable. Talk about a bright spot and a tough game here for the Sweets, still trailing by 6 runs, but Bittner has been immaculate. Galanita kicks and fires. First pitch to Sam Kane, popped up in the foul territory on the first base side. Russell taking a little bit too much time to get ready for it as saw Maverick Russell, the Knights' first baseman, went up over his head and he wasn't really moving. Thought it was a little bit closer than it was, and before he realized it, it got too far out of reach, and Sam Kane will be given another life as the Sweet center fielder is 0 for 4 today. Has been struggling versus this Knights pitching staff. As Galanita kicks and fires, Sam Kane ropes one foul to deep left field. And it kicks off of the fence as looking like that was just a breaking ball left low and in, and Sam just kind of was able to keep the barrel down, almost golf swing that ball out to deep left field, but foul. So Galanita up 0-2. Trying to minimize the damage here, keep it to a 6-run deficit. Kane floats it out to center field. Medina with the long run in will make the catch for out number 3. Sam Kane retired to close out the 8th inning, but Kyler Bittner with another 2 RBI base hit. He continues his hot days. The Sweets put a couple more on the board, still trailing by 6. It's 11-5 Knights as we move along into the 9th.
It's wild. I mean, it's crazy. It's still hard to believe that I have that ring. I'm not sure exactly how it came about, but I had the opportunity to go up and play in Kelowna. It was really fortunate. We had a really good group of guys up there, and it's a beautiful place. I mean, we really appreciate everybody who came out and watched us play and supported us, and made that summer really special for all of us out there. It's just an awesome city you guys live in. It was an absolute blast playing in the West Coast League. It was a very different experience for me. I really hadn't been away from home that long. It was my first college summer league team. Most guys leave and they really are focused on the innings and getting more work in, developing a pitch. For me, it was just kind of having an opportunity to face some different hitters, and it was definitely more of a step into a professional style of play. You're playing a lot more. It's just not weekend sets. I got to throw a lot of innings in my mind. I was out of the bullpen a little bit, so that was new to me. It was just a really good opportunity for me to refine all my stuff going into my sophomore year. Out of high school, I thought I was going to be a position player. Stu had told me, 10 years later, I would be, pitching and being at this stage, I would have been a little surprised. I was very fortunate to get drafted. Ended up here in Houston. It's been an awesome ride here the last 3 years. It's still hard to believe that I have that ring. It's wild. I mean, it's crazy. The things that happened during those games last year are just unforgettable.
The thing about Phil is that, he's the same every day. I mean, you can't tell if he's going good or if he's going bad. That's what makes him a quality reliever. It's the fact that, his highs aren't that high and his lows aren't that low. Enjoy Phil. I think I bought him some corn one day, and I wanted to know his opinion because where he's from, he's a corn expert.
So the Sweets will bring about a new arm in the top of the ninth. It will be the Gonzaga commit in Zach Vega, who steps in for another appearance this summer. As Vega, the right-hander out of Kennewick, Washington, graduated out of Kamiakin High School just this past spring. Will play with the Bulldogs in the spring of 2027 as he's getting set for his first year of college. As Vega was a utility guy in his time at high school and was ranked as the #2 shortstop in all of the state of Washington by perfect game. And has just been used by the Sweets as another pitcher in the rotation. He's been a bullpen arm that the Sweets have used sparingly. This is just the 4th appearance for Vega on the summer, as he was a late addition for the Sweets, made his debut back on July 9th, just a little under a month ago, and now making his first appearance since July 23rd, so been a couple weeks since we've seen Vega stepping in for a postseason debut, as in the one defensive change out in left field, Logan Nakamura will stay in for Ronan Schofield out in left, again pinch hitting for him in the bottom of the 8th. As the Sweets is hoping for a clean top of the 9th and trying to go into the bottom of the 9th with as much momentum as they can muster. The strike will be called here to make the count go 2-1. And Vega stepping in for Blake Moore, who was able to get an inning under his belt. A pop-up turned foul by Dakota Chun. As Chun has had himself a good day at the plate, he's batting 3 for 4 with a trio of singles and 3 ribbies. Portland catcher has been good on both sides of the baseball. Takes ball 3 outside. And Vega in those 3 previous appearances has just logged 4 innings, does have 7 strikeouts. Has also administered 6 walks in those 4 innings. Kicks and fires the payoff pitch, misses low and away, and Chun will walk. He's on base for the 4th time tonight. And checking in on the other scores around the West Coast League, the North Divisional games have been completed. Wenatchee take game 1 over Kelowna with a 9-0 shutout over the Falcons up in British Columbia, as they set up for the 2-game sweep, as they will head back to Wenatchee tomorrow for the 2nd game of the series. And then up in British Columbia, the 3 seed of Nanaimo walk off the Bellingham Bells in the bottom of the 9th. They take game 1 over the second half North champions in the Bells. And now bunt shown, pops out of the glove of Kennedy, and good agility behind the plate, getting out and around that ball before Chun was able to advance. Was Nathan Wodelski with a walk-off single to center field with the bases loaded, and being able to add on a hard-struck ball out to straightaway center field. Sam Kane will trail to his left, makes the catch in left center, gets the throw speedily into second, and Severns will be retired for out number 1 here in the 9th. So again, both North Division games able to close up, and that just leaves the 2 South Divisional games with Walla Walla trailing 5-11. And then, of course, the other South Division semifinal, Ridgefield and Portland, as the Pickles and Raptors now knotted up at 4 apiece in the 5th inning out at Walker Stadium. So still a very narrow margin in that game, and Swedes hoping for a 9th inning surge. Reverse the Corvallis Knights. Well-struck ball into right center by Zane Garvey. Long run for both fielders, and Sam Kane, it kicks off his glove as makes the deep throw into the field, as really no one to pick it up, and it will be Vega who collects it beyond the third base foul line. It will be a 1-out double for Zane Garvey, as he's got back-to-back knocks, a single and a double. Just a hard hit ball out there to right center. Looked a little bit a little bit off the end of the bat, but and Garvey just able to muscle it out there to right center field. Ends up getting the double as Chun settles into third. So 2 runners in scoring position, only 1 down for Joey Morosco, the George Fox infielder in the Northwest Conference Freshman of the Year. Morosco has had a tougher day at the plate as he walked and scored his first time up and has struck out 3 times since then. 0-1 delivery, gets a big check swing as it laid down towards the dirt. Count moves to 0-2. Struggling a little bit just with that discipline, and Vega happy to take advantage. As the Kamaikan High School graduate kicks and deals, going to be grounded over towards the right side. No one's covering first. Buckley gets it over to Bittner, but not in time, as it was hit over to the right side of the infield. Bittner was in close, so was Buckley. He went over to make the grab, and Bittner didn't realize it in time. Wasn't able to cover in. That will put Morosco over on first base, and I believe that having to be deemed as a single to the shortstop, and we'll see how it's officially scored in the books by the official WCL statistician, as the bases will load for the designated hitter and Kellen Siegel as he takes the ball down low. It skips off of Kennedy. He completely loses it towards the Corvallis dugout. 1 run will score, and Garvey will settle up at third as the wild pitch easily scores Chun, and the lead jumps out 12-5 as every time the Swedes are able to put on a run, the Knights respond with some of their own. There's a breaking ball in the dirt, kicked off the chest plate of Kennedy and lost complete track of it. So runners on second and third with 1 out, and Siegel still a RBI chance. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the 9th. 1 run already come across. Vega kicks and fires down low. Designated hitter 1 for 3. RBI single back in the 5th inning. Popped out his last time out to Bittner. Infield playing on the cut of the grass. Vega kicks, fires. Siegel behind on it. Down moves to 2-2. And Vega going to sit around the high 8s. Can get it into the low 9s. I always love that velocity from a younger guy, and Vega, and not the biggest guy I'll see on the bump, 6 foot even, 180 pounds, kicks and fires a breaking ball that just doesn't quite bite. So the count goes to full. Walla Walla just trying to get out of this inning, head on into the bottom of the 9th. Try and somehow put up a mammoth amount of runs. Line drive snagged by Gaines. Hossin over at third base as maybe a magnet in the glove as that one sticks, and Siegel lines out to the hot corner, and that's why they call it that. A hot shot 90 off the bat right at Gaines Hossin. Able to snatch it out of the sky, prevent a base hit, and more runs coming in. So that's out number 2. does look like the Portland Pickles will take a lead in the bottom of the 5th versus the Raptors as jumps out 6-4. Portland now leading the 1-seeded Ridgefield Raptors. Pitch missing outside now from Vega at 88. Still just trying to do his best to locate as. And Walla Walla's pitching staff been struggling a little bit more in recent times. Both these teams' team ERA have stayed kind of around the same. Corvallis current team ERA of 4.62. The Swedes 4.73. Not too much of a difference. Again, Walla Walla, one of the best strikeout teams early on, as now are currently sitting 4th in the West Coast League in strikeouts, and the Knights have emerged as a top swing and miss team as their pitchers have tallied over 500 strikeouts this summer. As Vega does get a fastball over to continue the at-bat versus Diego Cruz. Both teams have tried to do their best to minimize walks, and Corvallis have done a great job minimizing the long ball, and really have just able to find a good chunk of arms, as and Corvallis have always been deemed as a second half team, are usually just an all-around scary team to face up against. But when it comes to the second half, are able to retain and bring back so much talent throughout the summer, is why they're one of the best. The best hard hit ball out to left field. That's going to be way over the head of Logan Nakamura. It's going to roll all the way out to the fence line. 2 runs will come in. Cruz settles in at second, and that is back-to-back doubles for Diego Cruz, as he is currently 4 for 6 on the night with 4 RBIs. That is back-to-back doubles out to right field for Diego Cruz, as the last one he hit was a little shallower in left center, and was just able to beat out the throw swimming around the tag. So Corvallis extend the lead 14-5, a 9-run gap here in Borleske Stadium, and the Knights have been able to keep adding on runs. Ground ball picked up by Buckley, and the throw is going to be way offline to Zach Vega, and we will see Cruz jog up and score, and Medina moves up to second on the error. Now a 10-run deficit, and it looked like a chance for the Swedes to finally get out of this inning and end up committing their second error of the ball game. And the inning continues, as it looked like a routine play. Ethan Buckley over at first base hasn't played a ton of first for the Swedes, of course, as a catcher first. And just the underhand throw being way off the mark to Vega. So Cruz scores unearned, and Medina now in at second. First pitch from Vega misses down and away to the dirt, as the Swedes, with every run they give up, just makes it tougher to try and steady a comeback. Vega kicks, fires inside. It's going to be chopped over to the shortstop in Reeser, as he throws across the diamond to Buckley. And the third out finally connected with here in the ninth, but another pair of runs is put up by the Knights. They now lead 15-5 as we move into the bottom of the ninth inning.
Tasting fresh isn't hard with Blue Mountain Cider Company. As the official hard cider of the Walla Walla Sweets, our award-winning ciders have been crafted with love from local apples since 2003. Crisp, refreshing, and less filling than beer, Blue Mountain Cider is the perfect choice for any occasion. Check out our 8 flavors including peach, cherry, and harvest blend this summer. These ciders are sure to be a home run. Join us on Facebook and at drinkcider.com to learn more. Blue Mountain Cider Company, an apple a day, one glass at a time.
Experience elegance in the heart of downtown Walla Walla at the Marcus Whitman Hotel. Call for reservations at 509-525-2200 or visit us online at marcuswhitmanhotel.com.
Welcome to hospitality. Welcome to luxury. Welcome to Legends Casino Hotel. Visit legendscasino.com or call and book your stay today.
Bottom of the ninth here in Walla Walla. Sweets trying to bring it back in the WCL game of the weekend. WCL Divisional Series opener between the 2-seed and 3-seed, and the South Division, the 2-seed of the Knights sitting steady 15 up as they lead 15-5, a 10-run deficit over the number 3-seeded Walla Walla Sweets. In their first postseason appearance since 2019, first pitch runs inside towards the letters of Gage Reeser. As it's 3-4-5 in the lineup. Reeser, Hale, and Stinson are due up for Walla Walla. As again, the Knights just started strong and finished strong. 7 runs in the first 2 innings, 6 runs in the last 2 innings. As Galanita misses way outside in the lefty batter's box. The count moves 2-0, and George Fox, right-hander, was able to get through 1 inning, did allow a pair of runs from the Sweets, and it's Kyler Bittner who capitalized with a 2 RBI single, bringing in Hawson and Kennedy. As pitch on the way, runs up and inside again. Getting Galanita. Fastball is going to sit a little bit slower than we've seen it today. His fastball sits in the mid-80s. That one came in at 84. But still definitely not going to be painless if it gets you. 3-0 pitch on the way. Statue-like is Gage Reeser as he takes strike 1. Did not move a muzzle. As Galanita sets in for the 3-1. Kicks and fires in another fastball. Reeser tosses the bat behind him as he saunters on down to first. It's a leadoff walk, and Reeser aboard for the 2nd time today due to a walk. So that brings up the big Royce Hale. And Hale going into his senior year as committed to play at Long Beach State and started his career at Seattle University. Will now leave the Redhawks, join the Dirtbags down in Southern California. Guy can play both the infield and outfield. Stands at 6'5", 230 pounds. A monstrous pop-up, lost immediately by Chun. Is he able to regain it and finds the catch underhanded towards the Sweets dugout, and Hale will be retired. As don't usually see that one bit. Chun lost it as soon as it came off the bat, was able to look up into the night sky, identify where it was, and in time run over in front of the Sweets dugout and make a catch. So that brings up the right fielder in Stinson. Just a power speed combo out of Lewis Clark State going into his final year of eligibility with the Warriors. And was the team's primary pinch runner this past spring as a junior, and started his collegiate career at Pierce Community College in the ANWAC. Another pop-up into foul territory, this time on the first base side, and making the catch in the dirt will be Russell. And after the leadoff walk, back-to-back pop-outs in foul territory for the Sweets, and Walla Walla are down to their final out. And in steps Gaines Hawson. Feels like any time there is 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, it is Gaines Hawson who steps in, as he has been forced into this clutch situation multiple times and having to try and keep the game alive for the Sweets. This postseason matchup, and swings away at the first pitch, a breaking ball. Fools him from Galanita. And if the Knights find this final out, the Sweets will have to try and win back-to-back games in Corvallis to keep their postseason run alive. Meanwhile, the Knights will have all the momentum Galanita kicks, fires another bender, gets another swing and a miss. Hawson 2 for 4 tonight, a solo home run all the way back in the second to put the Sweets on the board, and then a single last inning eventually came around to score. Galanita fires the 0-2 breaking ball, ripped into left field, but straight at Ethan Porter. He'll jog in and secure it, and that will do it here in Walla Walla. The Knights claim the series opener. In this West Coast League Divisional Semifinal, they down the 3 seed of the Sweets 15-5 here in Borleske. Was just a dominant showing out of Corvallis, and again, started hot, finished hot, that being the name of the game. Got 1 run in the first, and then were able to put up 6 runs in the second, knocking out the Sweet starting pitcher in just the second inning. 6 runs in that inning, then went a little bit slower throughout, put up a couple in the 5th, but that really being it for the middle innings. Then in the 8th, put up another pair, and then in the 9th, put up 4 more to close out strong. And the Swedes were able to get on the board a couple times early through a couple solo shots. Saw Ethan Buckley come around to score through an error. Again, the Swedes were finding that comeback a little bit. A run in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th innings. Put up 2 in the 8th, but just could not get anything going, and they end up petering out in the 9th. Saw Kyler Bittner for the Swedes have an incredible day at the plate. Again, batting 4 for 4, 3 singles, his first home run of the summer, and a walk, totaling 4 total runs in, knocking in 4 out of the 5 for the Swedes. And then, on the side of Corvallis, saw Diego Cruz go 4 for 6 with a pair of doubles, 4 ribbies. Saw Dakota Chun go 3 for 4 with 3 runs batted in and a walk. Saw Ethan Porter, Maverick Russell, Zane Garvey each have multiple hits. Maverick Russell, the first baseman, also knocked in 4 runs. Was just a steady effort from the Knights as they totaled 16 hits alongside their 15 runs. The defenses had a couple mistakes either side, but Corvallis' offense led them to the series opening victory. They now just need 1 more to head along to the West Coast League Divisional title match, and the Swedes need to take back-to-back in enemy territory. But it was a pleasure having you for the West Coast League Game of the Weekend. The first postseason matchup in Walla Walla since 2019. It has been an absolute pleasure. Again, Game 2 will be in Corvallis Goss Stadium at Coleman Field tomorrow at 6:35 p.m. We'll see you there. I've been Brad Whitman on the Walla Walla Sweets Digital Network. Thank you for joining us one more